All right. Good evening, everybody. Oh, excuse me, I'm still adjusting my microphone. That's not very professional, is it? Right. Okay. So, I have a lot of screens to juggle tonight. I have rather a lot of screens to juggle around tonight. All right. I don't actually need much of over there. Is there a way that I can set this to be always on top? No, that'd be stupid. That would be stupid. All right, okay. I'm definitely very prepared for this presentation. Definitely. Apologies, anyone that was hoping for some lesson last week. I needed some extra time to work on some stuff. Namely, this presentation. So, let's get into it, which is, it's this one, right? Much anticipated PowerPoint presentation when? Well, now, actually. It's funny you should say that. Why is that chat on? That chat is almost invisible on this screen. This window here, has it got any filters on it? It does have some filters on it. Can I turn them all off? Alright, that still looks rubbish, to be honest. Right, okay. Oh, what a coinky dink. What a coinky dink. Alright, I see. I understand. Alright, is it this one? I can't remember what I'm doing now. Alright then. So this is session 4. And this session is all about streamer tips. Now, there's a little thing to know. I only realized when I was editing this earlier this evening that the week before last week's session was also called Mastering the Streamer, even though it was Mastering the Stream. So that's a big fuck up from me. But never mind. Never mind. Well, all right. So the second part of the thingy is wrong. Right, okay, I'm not fixing it now, can't be bothered. Right, so where it says presentation slide 1 to 57, then we have a break. After that, we obviously start from slide 58. We're not going to do the same half of the presentation again. God damn it. Anyway, how are you, officialkins? Hope you're all right. I'm just thinking if there's anything else we needed to cover from last time. I don't think there is. But for anyone that's just tuning in or has just found this video on the YouTube, because I'm going to be posting it on the YouTube after, so if you can't stay for the full session, it's fine because you'll be able to find it on the YouTube afterwards. We'll just have a little recap of where we're at with stuff. So, I'll go into here. Oh, it is still working. All right then, so we've got the 3 courses. We're in the OBSCOD course at the minute, but this is the last section of it. How do I do the thing? How do I do the thing? All right. So we've done modules 1, 2, 3, and now we're on module 4, which is the last of course 1. So after this, you should be fully equipped to go out and live stream and make a nice go of it. So that's all the stuff we've covered, right through from the basics. So just sort of remind everyone of that. So you may be wondering to yourself, as well as what we're going to do tonight, what's going to be coming up? Well, the next course after this is going to be about using Blender. And we got a lot of modules there. Blender is like a 3D graphics program where you can make your own logos and stuff. My bad, I've been busy with Tuk, but I'm here. That's no problem, Tuk News. No problem. Welcome on in. It's always nice to see you. So yeah, I can't look forward. I can't wait to get on to Blender, which is got to be next week, where we're going to start having a lot of fun making computer graphics. Because I've been using Blender for like about 10 years, and it's pretty good, but it's not something that's easy to get to grips with. So I'm going to have a number of different modules. Each one of those bars could be its own session, but it might not end up being it. Talking about everything from, making animations to making graphics for your stream. It's got to be pretty good. And I'm also going to teach you how to do stuff like fire effects, smoke, water, physics, cloth objects, object shattering. It's got to be amazing. And then after that, we move on to course 3. And I can see from the look of this video that I just never actually lined up that thing right. It's next level interactions. I don't know what that last line of that rainbow text is supposed to say. Oh dear, yeah, well, you don't, with third-party software, there you go. That's basically how it is. And we've got we're going to be setting up some advanced channel point interactions there. That's going to be pretty fun. What else have we got to say? Right, so yeah, there's first part of the session, then there'll be a second part of the session after a quick break. And here's just a reminder of the rules. During the main tutorial segments, I will only mostly answer questions related to what's being taught at the time. Prevents me going off into little conversations with groups of people that no one else is interested in. No TTS or sound redeems. It's all off. You're banned. You're barred. I've just turned them off for this stream because otherwise they would obviously be distracting. Any unrelated questions can be answered at the beginning or in the halfway break or just before ending. And, you know, if somebody's asking a question, please be patient because it's probably me being bad at explaining things. And, you know, some of this stuff is not easy to get to grips with if you've never encountered anything like it before. If anyone's watching this video or watching any of the previous videos and ends up having a question, feel free to drop by one of the live streams sometimes, and you can ask it at the beginning or the end. It's absolutely fine. I'll give you my time. And I am led to believe that we might have a little extra thing, non-tutorial streamer-wise, to do at the end of this to do with Holdfast. But I'll speak more about that after we get through all of this. So. Maybe have a hand raise emoji and a turn on emojis. Emojis should work anyway. Let me just see. Let me see. There's one here. Did it work? There's one there which can work. If you're on a Windows in Twitch chat, you can press the Windows key and then the full stop / period button. And if you press them both together, it'll bring you up an emoji list in any text enterable place. Pretty cool feature to know about there. You can also use that to put in emojis that have really long descriptions that get read by TTS, but you didn't hear that from me unless you did. Right then. Hold on, I need to get my other background music stuff sorted out. Okay, that's there. You can already hear those two things at the minute, which is good. Right, okay, so here we go. Without further ado, let's hope this works. And yeah, that works, but I can't actually hear. Oh, is it there? Is it being picked up? It's very, very quiet. Let me raise that up a tiny little bit. Okay, just some background music. So, welcome. Welcome to Jurassic... No, it's not Jurassic Park, is it? Okay, it's my Module 4 collection of things. Let me just position that. That should hopefully be good. So welcome to Bitcoin Barons, Streamer Bible Series, Course 1, Module 4, Mastering the Streamer. The main point of this series of videos now you have it is... No, this isn't a series of videos. I didn't edit that bit. Oh, for God's sake. I have like a script which is many pages long that I'm supposed to read from, and I forgot to edit the beginning bit of it. So that's good. Second paragraph, first mistake. Right, okay, so hopefully if you've been going through this series on YouTube, I would advise having a little break between videos and doing some streaming and getting that practice, because it's good. But if you're a streamer, you may not have had much growth. Maybe your momentum has plateaued a little bit, or maybe you're just looking at what else you can do. I've already explained what we did in the previous modules. I'm not going to do it again. Yeah, feel free to check out the YouTube playlist. Actually, I'll drop a link right now for that. BBSBS in the Twitch chat. You obviously won't need that if you're watching on YouTube, though. Which you can go and have a look at all the things. So if you can't stay around here, what I do after every single one of these sessions is upload it to the YouTube so you can see it forever. So don't say anything too crazy in the Twitch chat. Otherwise, I'll have to turn the Twitch chat overlay off my stream. Right, okay. So this session should be able to help you with all the technical and creative aspects of streaming. Okay, actually, I can move this forward. All right, recap of the... we don't actually need this because I've just been through what we did. But there's a quick thing of what we did in the previous modules and sessions on here. Okay, I've wanted to do a series of tips like this for a very long time, but never found the time. if I can become a half-decent streamer, I don't know what these are all about. I don't know. Oh, yeah, we're going to have some AI art imagery, by the way. I'm glad to have become a geek with some technical knowledge in my younger years. So, you know, I'd like to dabble into the software and configuration side of things and get my hands and keyboard dirty. But I also like programming and other stuff. But that's not really why you're here. So we've got tips. Are we? Yeah, we're sort of having it like this, right? There'll be a beginning section to this whole presentation, which is just about the very basic tips. Now, you may have already got yourself going and might be thinking, well, I'll skip past them. I know what I'm doing. I wouldn't necessarily advise it. It may be, wait a second. Oh, yeah. It may be that there's something that you didn't know, which is a basic thing. And there are sometimes people that for some reason take a long time to, even if you tell them that they shouldn't really do some certain things, it might take a while for them to figure out why. So there will be some explaining of the tips as well. So you can look at it from that angle too. Can I have some AI pizza? I don't think there is any, Teddy, but hello. Hope you're doing well. Right, okay. To jazz up what would otherwise be a pretty boring presentation, I'm going to use some AI-generated imagery, like you can see on the screen. You know, just because I can. Which I've been into, as you may already be aware. In a normal presentation, you'd maybe see some cheesy stock imagery, and those are things that I couldn't afford ever. As such, we'll use AI. This does mean that there will occasionally be some interesting images. Interesting images being stuff like an extra arm, a melted face, definitely some extra fingers, and messed up hands for definite. Get used to it. Give it a try. You may think that some of the advice that's got to be given in this is wrong. Why is the image not appearing? There we go. Or doesn't apply to you. And you could be right, but if you're struggling to build your community and the numbers are staying pretty low, and people maybe come to your stream, do nothing but give a lurk, saying only a few quick things and then going, maybe it's time to examine your options and how you can get people engaged. I don't know why I used that photo. I don't know why I used any of these photos. Like, I came to each of these slides, and in the moment I was like, what can represent this? So I don't even know what I typed in to get these specific images. But what's this slide? I don't even know what this slide is. Oh, yeah. And honestly, if you've been going a while and things don't seem to be getting going, then you have a simple choice. Give up or get better. Doing the same thing over and over again isn't likely to start working if it's not worked so far. So try something new. And as well as watching this guide, I would recommend, you know, just YouTube searching other people and other ideas, because I've got my own ideas, right? But you might not think some of them apply to you, or maybe they just don't work for you. But there are lots of people out there on YouTube that have got like tips and things for people. Whatever you do and whatever you go for, don't ever subscribe or sign up to anything, or heaven forbid pay to get like a learning course or something, because there's lots of great resources out there for free. Exactly. Check out other help resources for different perspectives. Okay. So now we move on to the first section. We're on slide 9 of 109. Just saying. My presentation is very big, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I don't know why this has a white stripe across it in the corner. It didn't when I was editing it. It's kind of annoying. So, solve the basics first. Seems simple. Look, here's a well, it's not a computer, it's a TV screen which is on fire. So check out the first sections on bitrate. Why is that half a sentence? I don't know. Right, yeah. So bitrate is important. Bitrate is what determines your video quality. You can see here how to do it. So basically, there's a little record button inside of your OBS Studio anyway. You can use this to record your stream as a movie file on your PC, so you can practice before you actually go live with any new settings, just to see what it's going to look like. Of course, for bitrate, you can also get throttled if you set it too high, beyond what your internet connection can handle. And sometimes internet connections can have a wobbler. Excuse me. But we did in the first lesson in this series, we did talk a lot about bitrate, so I don't want to get too much into it. But bitrate is important. And yeah, you can use that start record. Instead of it going to a stream, it saves it as a file on your computer. And then, let's see. I didn't put where I'm supposed to click in this presentation, but let's have a look at an example of really bad bitrate. Okay, now this is hopefully visible. That it's a bit hard to see some of the things going off, and this was recorded in 1080p. It's a 1080p movie file, but because of the bad bitrate settings or the low bitrate that it's having to go through, things become blocky, and that's not necessarily a good experience for people. Right, where am I? I've just got a massive wall of text right here in front of me that I'm trying to remember where I am. You know what? I could click, and then I know exactly where I am. Okay. So, how would you know if you drop in frames due to network activity? Well, there's a little stats thing inside of OBS, and you can see where it's... You can't probably see what it says, because I think I forgot to adjust the recording quality for this particular movie. But if you get like on where there's that red figure there and you've got dropped frames, that's not good. That's not good at all. Oh, look, I move it over here. And in OBS Studio, there's a little color indicator in the bottom corner, which if it goes red or something like that, that's probably pretty bad. Well, I say it probably is. It almost certainly is. Sometimes that doesn't necessarily mean your stream is going to start buffering, but it probably will start to throttle the bitrate a little bit. It depends how things are set up. It depends on a lot of things. Yeah, but make sure... Oh, wait. What am I looking at here? I've completely lost where I am here. Right, okay. So, yeah, when you do this recording and... Wait, I was actually streaming. Oh, wait. Can you see my cursor? I don't know if you can see my cursor. Can you see my cursor if I move it over? Oh, yeah, you can. Just wanted to check that in case I decide to highlight anything. Right, okay. And also, check out them volume levels. So we've got volume sliders which look like that there. If you're going into the red zone, you're doing it wrong. I would say for your microphone, you want to be talking a bit louder than you normally would and making sure that that's only just about tickling the yellow zone. And we did do a lot about setting up effects on your microphone in the last session in this series to get things to compress the ranges a bit so it's a little easier to deal with, you know, different games that have different volume levels. And yeah, you probably want the audio from your system not up high like that. Turn it down. Turn it down, you idiot. All right, he's not going to turn it down. This movie quality for resolution is awesome. But yeah, you always want to make sure that your actual microphone volume is higher. Oh, look, I did another little twirl. There's two mices on the screen now. Mices? What's the plural of mice? What's this? Amazing the stream quality we get from Baron from the center of the earth. I'm not in the center of the earth. Hope I'm well. Yeah, I am pretty well. I've had a good day. I hope you have as well, Nikki. Right, okay, what's this? So yeah, try and sort things out and make sure you know what bandwidth you can use, because once that setting is fixed and you know it's set up and you know it's good quality, then you probably never have to touch it again. And if you do, it's probably just a one-off when you have like some really bad bitrate issue, like your internet connection's having a wobbler, which will probably be sorted after a day or so. But yeah, these are some problems that can hinder streamers for many months if they don't know how to solve them, especially if the video problems are severe. That can negatively impact on viewers. Like, yeah, it could make them tune out. And these problems are easier to solve. And bear in mind that you may think, you know what, this video quality is alright, it's not too bad. But if it looks blocky, and you can see that it looks blocky, but you're like, nah, it'll do. It may do for you, but it might not do for someone else. And moving on from that, talking about internet wobblers with your internet connection, I'd recommend having maybe an emergency low bandwidth mode ready. Did I put in a slide for this? I don't think I did. All right, okay then. So I'm gonna have to. Will this work? All right, this will work. Well, it won't really work. Can I turn off the display capture for a bit? Oh no, if I turn off the display capture, you won't see it. So ignore the Hall of Mirrors thing going off in here. You have, it won't let me see it now because we're actually live and recording, but you have a profile section here where you can make a copy of your live stream's settings. That includes stuff like video resolution and bitrate and all that. So you can make a copy especially designed for an emergency low bandwidth mode. And then it's just quickly stopping your stream, applying those settings, and then press and go live again. And you're ready for that bit of wobbly internet. So if your internet does have a fair few times where it gets a bit wobbly and you start to see like dropped frames, all that, I definitely recommend looking into that. But I can't show you now because it won't let me view that menu when I'm live. I don't know why. So, as a little sort of guide, and this is only a guide, but in case you're like, well, what would I do with that? I would say, where's my mouse cursor? Right, okay, the output resolution, that's not your original resolution, but it's one where it scales it down to that. I'd recommend if you're on 1080p, scaling it down to this resolution here, or if you're already on that resolution, scaling it down to that for your low bandwidth mode. And lower the FPS. FPS is the single biggest consumer of bitrate. Like if you have 6,000 kilobytes is 6,000 as your bitrate, right? Then it has to divide that. Hold on. Let me get my calculator up. So let's assume your bit rate. Oh, you can see the calculator. Okay, this will do. It's 6,000. So if you divide that by 60 frames per second, that means that each image only gets 100 kilobytes of image quality ability. That's the amount of data that it can do. And that's not a great deal. But if you were to reduce your 60 frames per second at the same bitrate down to 30, then you've doubled the image resolution per frame, per individual frame. That is a bit of a simplification of how things work, but it's sort of like a little something to think about. So yeah, definitely if you're on, lower the FPS from 30 to 60 FPS. Oh, right, so I put both numbers together. Yeah, if it's 60, I'd say have your emergency settings be 30. Unless you want it to be really conservative or you're already on 30 as your main FPS and tune it down to 25. Remember, it's going to lead to a bit of a degradation in how your stream looks, but it's only for when your internet's having a wobbler. And your bitrate, you know, if it's something like 65,000, maybe reduce it down to somewhere like 4,200. Depends how severe your drops are. I can only give you this as a little bit of a guide. If you're on a lower bit rate just on your normal connection, try squeeze it down a little bit. I have tested both sets of these settings and the image quality, in my opinion, is still fairly good. So yeah, that's why I'd say that those are like settings that you could put in your emergency profile. Anyway, you don't have to do that, and some people don't, but you can. Shows being prepared. The next tip, a really important one. Regularity is the foundation of growth. So, an underappreciated tip that some people that are new don't know or don't consider is, how is your audience going to know when you're going live? And if they don't get any advance warning that you're going live, how can they make it to your streams? True, if they're following you, they're going to get a notification telling them that you're live right now. But what if they're not browsing Twitch at the moment you go live? And or perhaps they have email alerts turned off. I do. I know a lot of people do, because it's kind of annoying if you have a lot of people that you're following. If you can only stream 1 day a week or 2 days a week at guaranteed times where you'll nearly always be available and free of live stuff, stream at those times. A first time... Wait a second. Oh, no, I should still be on it. I wish I'd put in a little click map telling me when to click in my little script, but I never did. I was too lazy. Right then, so yeah, a first-time viewer that appears in your chat at a certain time of the day or week is likely to be able to drop by your stream again if you're still streaming at the same time next week. But if you never stream at that time again, it's quite possible you never see that person again. Because their real-life education or job keeps them away. I mean, that's simplifying it. Sometimes people's lives change sometimes people finish work or school early. But it's just a little thing to think about. So streaming at odd times, as and when you can, and when you feel like it, is not very likely to result in a large number of return viewers. This is especially important when you first start to build up a following. The more you stream at a certain time, the more returning regulars as well as first-time watchers you can expect. You know, because your regulars can make it. You're streaming at the same time. And you'll get some new people maybe turning up. And you'll turn them into followers because you're awesome. Perhaps... Oh, wait. Okay. So, yeah. Perhaps real-life stuff, work and family commitments means that you just can't stream at the same time each week. And perhaps, even if you try to, things may be cut short. Maybe there's something that happens with your family. Maybe you've got a little kid or something that sometimes has a tantrum or needs a bit of extra care or something. My advice would be to treat those times when you can stream, but it's less regular than you'd like, as practice for when you can be a bit more regular. And that's okay, because practice makes perfect. And, you know, if it is a bit irregular, it gives you hopefully some free time to work on other things as well, like getting some fancy graphics in, or, I don't know, just watching Netflix, whatever you want to do. Don't spend all your free time streaming. Have some you time. Everyone needs you time. Well, everyone needs me time, but not me as in me, and not you as in you, but them as... Oh, I can't explain it. Oh, hello there, Kid Ripster. Nice to see you. I've only just seen your message. Sorry, I'm reading off a big script, so I'm not really looking at the chat quite as frequently as I should be. It's only like 30 pages long or something, this script. Right, oh yeah. And a final point, don't give up all your free time for streaming. You need time to relax. You need you time. Take whatever free time you have or are regularly going to have available and give half of that for actually streaming. Don't worry about it. I'm happy to learn any info I can. Well, welcome to the fun zone. This music seems to have piped up a little bit. I'm gonna tell it to chill out just a little bit. Oh, that's a very small slider. There we are. That's a little better. It seemed to be piping up just a little too much. And now I've lost my script again. I only have 3 monitors. For this kind of thing, I really need 4. Okay. Next big tip for newbies. And this is one which might break the bubble of some people, but you will not just blow up and overnight or over a couple of weeks go from like 10 followers to 400 or even 4,000. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. Unless you get caught up in some scandal or widespread controversy, and there's people out there that do try to do that. You've probably all seen them cringe YouTubers that just prank people in real life and then get really upset and offended when people don't react how they thought they would react. You know, you're not just going to blow up unless you are caught in a scandal. And then, you know, hit affiliate and zoom on up to partner level and become beyond and become an internet star. Because the people that are up there at the top, like, you know, XQC, Jacksepticeye, Moist Critical, they didn't suddenly blow up overnight either. They worked hard, and it took many years of publishing and streaming videos to learn what they were doing. And they mastered the art of great content over a long period of time. And so can you. But even if you did have that magical, controversial blow-up moment because something big happened to you, If your content wasn't bringing in people at a steady rate already, then in the aftermath of blowing up like that, people will just realize that there's not really much there and will probably just stop supporting you over time. Just like if you have a Twitch raid on your channel, and you probably notice that quite a few people seem to drop out within the first couple of minutes after a raid, which is fine. You know, people have stuff to do, don't worry about it. So you cannot do this in a year. Well, you might be able to do it in a year if you're really good and you really know what you're doing and you have all the free time in the world to do for it. And you probably can't do it all by yourself. You're going to need the support of other people like streamers. But you can do this with patience and being realistic. And I'm going to try and help you in that regard. So the takeaway of this tip is simply this. It will take time and you have to be patient. And some days the numbers aren't going to be good. Some days people will just be too busy to swing by. Sometimes maybe you choose a game that wasn't as interesting to your audience as it was for you. People do blow up, but it's like winning the lottery. I don't count on it. Exactly. You're wrong. I'm going to blow up from eating too much. That sounds about right for Christykins, to be honest. I'm now Warframe only. Decided to focus on one game instead of several. That's all right. That can... Oh, no, I've got rid of my script. That can work out pretty well. And look after your... Yeah, absolutely. Whatever you do, look after your mental health. Because... Well, we'll get to that in a bit. We have tips on that as well about resilience and everything coming up. Where was I in my script? As a non-dominant streamer, you have to grow a bit of resilience to things that might otherwise affect your mood as well. Yeah, we just talked about this. Literally. You guys stop predicting my script, for God's sake. Please. I may as well just not give this. Everyone seems to know it all. Yeah, so you might have things that affect your mood. I've seen some people every now and again where, like, they've been in a pretty bad mood. I can remember this one guy one time. He was playing, was it Overwatch? Was it CSGO? I can't remember. He was playing one of those competitive multiplayer games. And he was clearly in a bad mood about something. But those kind of games, you have to be on the ball and you have to be in the right frame. If you're annoyed at stuff, you're just going to find more stuff to be annoyed at in the game. And that's not always good, watching someone just complain about everything. Okay, but what you could do is you could set yourself a monthly goal about what kind of growth that you want. Like how many followers this month, how, if you're affiliate, how many subs this month, and try to reach that. If you had a decent month last month and gained a lot of followers, maybe set yourself a goal the next month of trying to make it half as many again. But this could depend on a lot of things, so don't worry if you fail goals like that. Just try to always... Try and aim for things like that and set yourself little goals and targets that you maybe have on stream, because maybe someone's watching you, they think you're all right and that you're doing good, but then they see up in the corner you've got something like a follow goal for how many followers you want, and maybe you're at 199 out of 200 and they're like, you know what, could follow this guy, I could be number 200, get him over that line. You never know. Okay, and this is a big one, and there's a lot of this next tip is a big one. And a lot of streamers don't get it. Here we go. Followers only mode only hurts you. Just absorb that for a second. So, followers only, heckin' nope. Putting your stream in followers only mode is, in my opinion... Unless you get hate read. Actually, that is a good tip. That is a good tip. Unless you have an influx of people that just come in and cause you problems. But then again, following takes no time at all. I actually forgot that existed. Well, that's good then. But followers only is one of the easiest ways you can shut down your own growth. Nothing turns me off faster than knowing to communicate with a streamer, I have to increase their follower number. Why does it say I've been running this presentation for an hour? I haven't. It's only been 30... Oh, that's because I set this up and got it ready. Okay, I see. You know, I don't want to have to, before I can communicate with someone and say, hey, how you doing? Have to increase their follower number. I've cancelled raids on people that I was going to make because they had followers only mode on. I don't want to send my audience somewhere that they cannot speak to the streamer without following. It's a cheesy tactic. I've seen a common excuse that people use for this is followers only chat is that it stops bots spamming their channel. I don't have followers only chat on, and from like about 193 streams at the time of writing, on average, there's usually none actual bot spam messages that turn up with subscriber can't leave mode on. Oh yeah, I've put that on. Once you sub, you can never stop. Anyway, moving on. Yeah, so it's not that hard to deal with bots. And honestly, it's to balance this out, if there's bots that are in your chat, all you need to do is a few clicks to ban them from your stream, and then they're gone, and all their messages are deleted. And it's much better as a streamer for you to be able to do that than you making it so no one else can actually just talk to you unless they follow you. And don't forget that bots can follow too. Bots can actually follow. I got like a hate raid last year with about 200 bots turning up at once, and they all had names like Bitcoin is a scam, Bitcoin Baron smells, and all this nonsense. And they were following just so the alert would pop up on the screen saying their name and then followed or something. So even if the bot thing is really the reason why you do it, it shows much more about your ability or willingness to deal with bots directly when they pop up, or even learn how to, and a lot less about how much you care for a free and open chat room. It takes only maybe about 5 to 10 seconds to ban a bot from your stream. So, oh yeah, I should have gone to this slide a while ago. It takes only a few seconds to ban the bot. Okay, so that's a quick slide, and there you can see a picture of a Pixar bot. I do remember I actually told the AI to make a Pixar goofy robot. No, yeah, something like that, and it turned out with that. What's this? First-time chatters are some of the easiest that you can get. Like, literally, you talk to, in my experience, you talk to someone, you just say a few things to them, ask them how it's going, and they're easy followers to get. But a lot of those people aren't going to be able to become a follower of you if you have followers only mode on. Well, obviously they can, but they may not want to. So then you're putting that choice in front of them. Do I want to follow this person in order to speak with them? Why put barriers up? Why put barriers up? If you genuinely think it's better to stop people communicating with you than having to deal with maybe 1 or 2 messages a stream from bots, you're hurting your chances very much. There are a lot of settings behind the scenes on Twitch anyway that you can use to combat bot spam. It's never, ever worth sticking followers only mode on. Don't put up barriers. Oh wait, I announced that before I actually went to it. Oh, well, there we go. Next important tip. We're still in the newbie section, by the way. Don't compare and despair. Now you may be wondering, what the hell is this all about? But this is actually a tip to do with your mentality. When you're a young and new streamer, you can look at other people that are further up there that are doing better than you and ask, what have they got that you haven't got? And if you're struggling to keep the numbers going up or even level, of course you're going to try and figure out what's actually wrong or needs improving. That's, kind of what you should be doing all the time. But the exception to this, I suppose, is, don't worry about this if you don't actually care about your streaming and your streaming career. But if you feel like that, then why are you even bothering watching this tips video? Huh? Why? Why would you do this? Wait, what have I missed in the chat? I just enjoy the interactions. Exactly. That's what it's all about. That have one mod. Yeah. I'm not sure actually. It just appeared one. I think I think I actually made the mistake of giving Christikins mod when we did have that bot raid, because I think I just put a few people on it to just like ban all the bots, because I didn't really want to shut my chat down. And I also wanted people, because I had a funny feeling that some of the bots might have been sending messages to other people in the stream, but not to me, because obviously I'd then ban them. Mistake. A big mistake indeed. Anyway, back on this. Compare and despair is a psychological trick your brain pulls on you, and it's one of many factors that can walk someone into the path of depression. Your brain will have you looking at other streamers, and you find yourself thinking, you can never be as good as these people. Look at their fancy graphics, cool stream features, their personality, their social networking presence. They've got those things that you can just you'll never be any good at them. Why even try? If you've ever found yourself thinking like that, stop it. Stop comparing and despairing. I've seen people with only 100 followers and averaging about 15 to 20 viewers. I've seen people with 5,000 followers who have the same amount of viewers, sometimes even less. I've seen streamers that have twice as many followers as me and half as many subscribers. I've seen people whose streams' visual quality was very grainy and badly compressed with more viewers than people. Wait, what? With more view, I obviously cut that sentence off. But yeah, I can remember watching one person stream, and she was a Twitch partner, playing, I think, marbles on stream or something, and she wasn't my cup of tea anyway. But stream quality was ass. It was disgusting. And yet she was a partner. I've also seen people with boring personalities with 50 to 100 viewers, and people with funny personalities with much less. Oh, and what's that? You can't fake having a fun personality? You don't have to. You don't have to go, hey, you guys, what's up? It's me, your boy. Oh my gosh, thanks for tuning in. How are you? I hope you're doing super great. Oh, wait, I forgot to be moving the slides forward, didn't I? Stop thinking that way. Look, there's a picture of a computer. Everybody's career goes in slightly different directions. No people have the same career trajectory or grow the same way in all of the different areas. It's not like the more followers you have, the more viewers you're going to have. Sometimes it's up, sometimes it's down. There's no correlation between them. So don't try comparing to other people. And it's not about having that creator personality. You could fake it, but you probably shouldn't. What's that? I was literally telling you in chat. Hiring? What's that? That's how it happened. You gave me permission so I could ban people. Okay. He's paying you? Not money. No. I am not a prostitute. I am not a prostitute. Stop making these insane accusations. They're not true. Absolutely not true. There's people with no mic, no cam and mic just running channel point predictions with to a ton of viewers. Yeah, everyone grows and has different ways, so don't ever compare yourself to anyone else. What you should try and do, though, is ask people. If you're struggling for, is your personality good enough, you could ask your friends or the people around you what makes you fun to be around. And, just what fun memories they have from you. And try and think like how you were acting in that moment. And try to bring a bit of that out in your streams. Obviously, sometimes people change. But, just try and bring a bit of personality. You don't have to be fake. Oh, I need a drink because my voice is starting to go. Some people have bigger numbers than you in this area or that. But there's many reasons for that. Wait, what's that say? But there's many reasons why someone might be successful that cannot be reduced to a number. Some people have been at it longer. Others may have just had a big raid just before you arrived, and that's why their view counts up. And sometimes when people raid in, you probably notice that there's some people that just seem to hang around after the raid and just watch your stream. It's probably that they've just left their computer open watching that streamer, so they'll just be watching for most of your stream. If you get a few raids like that, and if each of those raids brings a few of those type of people that have actually maybe just gone to bed, then, that'll increase their numbers too. And even if there are things that a successful streamer can do, and you can't, why dwell on that? Oh, I forgot to update the slide again. Why dwell on that? Work on the things you can change and the things you want to change. And that is pretty much everything. All right, what slide are we on? All right, so we're on slide 35 so far. We're going to have a break at 57, so we got some to go. The 5 aspects of streaming. All right, so those were some basic tips to get you started. Maybe you'll find some useful, maybe not. No streamer is perfect, and we can all use a little help sometimes. I've many more tips to give, but with so many tips, I thought it would be better to organize them into sort of like a category. You know, because then maybe you can, if you start to think about streaming in different categories, you can be like, well, my content's good and this is good, but my social media, there's like nothing there. I'm not putting anything out there that's any good for anyone. Everyone does have natural strengths. You know, due to the skills in their personal background. So some people will be better at you than certain things just right off the bat. But you can work on those things. And honestly, you may work at them and learn to do those things and you might do them better. You never know. I don't know what that sign is supposed to say that this guy's holding. This is AI art. Baron has many tits. This is true. So, you know, some days are just naff days. And remember that. Some days are just going to be naff. So, what are these 5 aspects then? Here we go. We've got personality, content, mentality, networking, and marketing. So, personality, we're gonna define that here as how you behave and come across to other people on stream. Content is the things you stream. You know, the games you stream or the activities you do, the graphics and sound, and, you know, just how all that comes across. The mentality section is is stuff to do with behind the scenes and your mentality and how you feel about everything and how you keep it together. I fail on all these aspects. Well, you see, hold on, let me just finish this before I get sidetracked. Networking is a process of creating social and professional contacts with viewers and streamers, excluding on-stream. Wait, what did I mean by excluding on stream? I've got no idea. And then marketing is sort of like networking, but it's not where you're like making a one-on-one interaction with someone. It's not like talking to someone in your Twitch chat. It's where you just push yourself out there and you say to the whole world, this is what I'm doing. It's how you publicly promote yourself. But yeah, everyone fails at these. Like, I really fail hard at marketing. I'm a bit better at networking, but I'm still pretty shy. Marketing takes time. Marketing is sort of like stuff where you do posts on social media and big yourself up. And slowly over time, you'll start to hook people in there. But the more people you hook, I think the bigger your visibility is when you post publicly on most places. So it can work. But yeah, if you find yourself looking at all these and you're like, man, yeah, I am no good at any of these, you can work on all of them. You can work on all of them, really. You've just got to have that positive can-do attitude. And, you know, if you're not good at something, you know, being able to know that you're bad at these things is, you know, and admit it is good. Because if you can recognize what you're bad at, it gives you the option of improving it or getting someone else to help in that aspect. Like, I'm not sure if any of us here have, like, you know, media managers or, like, a media team, but maybe you have like someone, maybe a guy on Fiverr that can edit you some clip compilations together or something. Something like that. That can improve your content if you don't have anything on your break screen, you know, because obviously when you're on your break screen, you should try and have, like, something to entertain people if you get pulled away from your screen for any reason. Oh, excuse me, just had to do a little burpee poo there. And also beware. You may be itching to, maybe if you've been going a little while at your streaming, you may be itching to try some changes. But remember that, as you probably already know, some days playing the same game that might one week net you 10 to 20 viewers, the next week might not net you as much. And it might just be that you got lucky that day. So if you do make any changes, give them time. I do recommend trying any changes out that you want to make for at least a few weeks. Because then it gives your fans, your regular fans, chance to know, oh, this is what he's doing. And getting him. And why do I keep saying he? All right, I might say he or she or whatever, but I probably mean they. I'm not good with pronouns. I was born in the 80s. Yeah, so give it some time. All right, then. So, we're on to, that was all the first section. Now, here's the big one. Here's the one that everyone wants that magic answer to. I'm under no illusion I do not have the personality or banter to be a streamer. I mean, you could. I wouldn't ever have thought I had the personality or banter to be a streamer. I don't think I've got a good personality or banter to be a streamer, Teddy. No one ever sees that kind of good stuff in themselves. No one ever sees that. Like, I still watch some of my VODs, and when I hear my voice, I'm like, oh my god, my voice sounds so cringe. And I'm not just talking about those ones where I'm drunk off my head and showing my tits on stream and everything. You know. So this is a real question that confuses most people. What people will come and watch? What brings people round? Let's be real here. You're trying to get as many people in as possible. So once you start caring about your streaming career, that's right, it's your career now, even if it's just a side one, this becomes important. But more than what you stream... Wait, what? Oh, right, yeah. Sorry. I sometimes I write the most weird sentences, and I have to read them through fully before I can actually figure them out what I was actually meaning to say. But more important than what you stream is how you stream. Because this can be important. So if you're new to the game, you perhaps think that the game you play is the most important feature in pulling in viewers and followers. And maybe eventually subscribers. But if you're only streaming to your mates or not looking for new ones, this philosophy is okay because you're not trying to grow, in my opinion. For everyone else, this is wrong. You have a personality and likely a voice and a face that you can share if you have a webcam. So let's address this first. So, if you play games with no microphone and no webcam, you're pretty much relying on the gameplay itself to get people on board. You can type in the Twitch chat window perhaps, but you'll have to completely stop the gameplay to send messages in it, which can be off-putting for people. You know, if someone's like playing a game but then they stop and you're wondering what's happening, and then like maybe 5-10 seconds later a chat message appears in the window, it can be a bit stop-startish, and some people maybe won't like that. So yeah, if visitors are not talking, then wait, what? I don't know what I was putting there. I put half a sentence and then just left it there. It's good that I proofread this script last night, isn't it? It's good that I did that, because I totally did do that. I didn't not do that, but I didn't do it. Right, so if you play games with a mic and no webcam, the gameplay is less important and you can fluidly communicate with your audience. You're not having to stop and start all the time, and you can show off your personality a bit. They won't be able to see you, but they'll be able to hear you, and you can actually converse like a normal human being. Gotta head off now and eat din-dins before stream ban. Keep the gold flowing. No problem, Nikki. Right, where was I? Sorry, I was just quickly looking at the chat there. Right, okay, so, yeah. But if you have a mic and a webcam, then you can talk to people, and you can also react. Like, you can react with your voice and be like, wait, what happened there? Oh my god, that really did? Oh my goodness me. But if people can see your face, that can be a bit more entertaining. Like, there's a lot of people out there, for instance, I think Markiplier is a good example. Like, his YouTube videos when he's playing games, he has this way of reacting with his face. Not with his voice, but with his face, which is quite interesting. Sometimes it's like just casual, and then sometimes it's over the top. But if you have a webcam, you have the luxury of trying to do that. Nicky Madison sat at the back and fallen asleep. Well, have a nice din-dins. Okay, so the more personality you bring, the more unique your stream is. Wait a second. How does this relate to what I've got here? All right then. Okay, I'm just going to read through this bit. Right, so you will hopefully start to notice as you get a bit more skillful, regular and returning viewers. And the more regular they return, the more of a friend and the less of a viewer they become. Unless they're Christikins. A friend will, when they can, come by to hang out no matter what you are doing on stream. Actually, oh yeah, we'll be coming back to this particular point later, but a friend will come out and hang around for a little bit no matter what you're doing. That doesn't mean if they don't, they're not a friend. But this brings us to the last real meat of this particular section. Yeah. So to start off, if you intend to play other games, like you're just going to be a variety streamer, you're going to want a main game which you regularly play. Even if you start to play random games sometimes, which is fine, have a main game that you are or can get good at. As nice as change is, some people want the comfort of a reliable sort of form of entertainment. Like for me, I like always, or almost always, I'm playing Holdfast on a Friday, and I enjoy it. It's not a chore or anything like that. And, you know, a lot of people come by that time. You know, just because it's like they know what I'm going to be doing there. Like, if you change game too often, then people really can't get used to one of the games or another one of the games, so they might not be very interested as if you did have a main game. It's also easier to build friendships with other gamers that you meet in multiplayer games. So I'd think about that. Is there any type of game that you can play which is multiplayer? Now, obviously, try to choose one that's not like a sweaty Call of Duty match where if you kill someone one time, they're going to start ripping out the very choice words, because that will be an uphill battle all the time. So yeah, but yeah, if you're playing like a massive multiplayer online game or any kind of like multiplayer game, you can build friendships with people in those games and then they become viewers as well. Even if the game remains the same, interactions with other people in that game can make a stream enjoyable or even hilarious without you really having to change much or work too hard on it. That's one of the reasons I like Holdfast, is because sometimes other people provide the entertainment. I don't have to. Alright, so you may have noticed that we skipped asking what to stream, but it's alright because we're coming back to it now. So, just stream Fortnite. There you go, just stream Fortnite. We're done. We're done here. Nothing more to say. Nothing more to say. Okay, that's not actually true. But, as you may suspect, there isn't really a simple answer, except for Fortnite. Everyone streams Fortnite. But that's to their own detriment, as we'll talk about soon. But here's the thing to consider. Is it even games that you wish to stream? Just chatting, music streams, I can barely say that, cooking and crafting streams can be just as popular as any game. And, importantly, because less people stream that kind of content on, and I'm talking about, you know, like music or cooking and crafting streams, you don't have to compete as hard against other people in that area. For instance, there's probably thousands of people streaming Fortnite right now. And some of these have quite a lot of viewers, but the vast majority of them probably only have 1 or 2 viewers because it's oversaturated. So many people are streaming it. So if you were to want to start streaming Fortnite, you would start at the bottom of that pile with maybe 1 or 2 viewers, and then hope that you can slowly build up a bit of a following. Like, be careful to make sure your game's not oversaturated. So yeah, it's beyond the scope of this series to tell you what game will be entertaining for your fans to watch, because I don't know, well, unless you're in the Twitch chat. I do know the people in the Twitch chat, but I don't, if you're watching the video, I don't know you, and I don't know all of your followers, so I don't know what they would enjoy. But all I can do here is give you some things to consider and maybe link you to some useful information. But here's an easy tip, though. Oh, wait. Here's a slide we've just been talking about oversaturation. You know, games like Fortnite or COD. Less chance of success because you're not really as visible. Here, I even did an AI-generated Fortnite image where it's just Fintriv. But yes, this is an important tip. Don't play newly released games on stream. And there's actually 2 reasons for this, and it's not just about oversaturation. But yeah, if a big release comes out, everyone and their mother is going to be trying to stream it. Like a big game release, of course everyone's going to want to stream that for the community. But that means viewers will be spoiled for choice of who to watch, giving you a smaller piece of the pie. You'll likely as a small... What? I spelled that wrong. You'll likely notice as a small streamer that if you do stream a newly released game, you probably get less viewers than normal. But why is that? Well, for one, it's that oversaturation thing that we've talked about before. But there's another point too. There will be a part of your audience and the people that are following you. You love Fintriv. It's an alright game. It's not too bad. There'll be a part of your audience that are looking forward to also playing that newly released game. And perhaps don't want it spoiled for them by watching someone else play it. You see, there's a bit more to the streaming malarkey than you thought. But there is a couple of things that we can give you pointers on. Stream games you like playing. Don't stream game X or Y or Z because it's popular. You can try stream it for a couple and see how it goes. I'm not trying to tell you that you should not do that and, you know, you will hurt yourself by doing it. Part of what will make you grow as a content creator is failing. When you fail and you realize that certain things don't work for you, you just change them up. Just change them up. Yeah, but if you're streaming like a competitive multiplayer game and you're not feeling it or you're getting frustrated, maybe you're not really very good at the game, I'd say probably ditch it. Do you really want to spend a lot of your time on your streams frustrated? Probably not. Or maybe, as a little thing that you could do, you could maybe stream it out, well, you could maybe play it outside of streaming until you get good at it. And on the note of that, stream games that you're good at. If you're good at a game that isn't streamed much, you will surely pick up some interest if you stream the game and break down the action and explain what you're doing and how you do what you do. Also, this is great when you have new people drop in on a raid, because then you can ask them if they've seen that game before, if they know what's going on. You can explain things to them. You may as well just even explain things to them anyway. Like, I'm sure people that are regulars aren't going to mind you explaining the game to newbies. What are the team objectives? What do the icons in the game mean? These are all little things that you can mention while you're doing your stream to fill the silence. Oh yeah, and another couple of things. I didn't have anything in the script for these, but you can put your own spin on the game. Maybe play it a certain way. Have challenges and or channel redeems, you know, channel point redemptions if you're an affiliate, for things related to the game and how you play it. You can even wear a costume. I'm not sure how that's relevant to what to stream, but I'm not sure why I put that in there, to be honest. And research what games are hot and might grab you an audience. Not what's new. And this comes down to doing your own research. So, if you're still needing a little inspiration, let's look at some research you can do. With my streams, I explain lore, and every time I get an item and quest and say what it does. You see, that's pretty good. Like, I've been around your streams sometimes, and I've... what was that platformer game that you were playing the other day? Not the platformer one. The, one with the kid with a messed up story. See, I can't even remember the name of it now. Binding of Isaac, that was it. Bruce Luke, thank you very much. Bruce Luke, can't hear you, I'm in a meeting, that's fine. 20 months, Jesus. Isaac, I explained the lore to you. Yeah. You see, and I couldn't even remember the name of it. Except I could after a while. It's been a long day. But I did enjoy your explanations of stuff and showing it off and showing the endings off and things like that. It was very interesting. You know, and explaining what the things do. I couldn't get my head around some of it, but I understood a lot of it, and I was like, oh, I see how this works. And it's nice to do that, because as well as you explaining that stuff, for people that don't know it, it fills the air, and you're not sat there just playing a game and not saying anything, which is pretty good. All right, then. I need another drink before we go on to the next slide. You can probably hear that big plastic ball. God damn it. All right. Do your research. This is not a sponsored thing, but there's a website out there called Twitch Tracker. And if you've been streaming a while, you can give this website permission to look at your profile, and it can tell you lots of interesting and perhaps depressing information. So this is a little bit of what it looks like here. It can show you stats about your recent streams. It can show you how popular each of your recent streams was. It can show you which of your most often streamed games performs the best in terms of average viewership. It'll get down there in a minute, I think. We got some graphs there, but yeah, this is a bit where it tells you like max viewers in the green section, how many followers you picked up, and how long you were streaming for. I had a -1 follower on that one. It probably wasn't a good stream. But as you can see, these are my stats, by the way. So it has some very useful information. Very useful stuff. And, you know, of course, what all of this data that it can bring you up means is very much up to you to interpret. But the more you have, more information you have about your performance and what games work or have worked in the past well for you, gives you more options of where you want to take your channel and if you want to concentrate on one game over another game. For instance, with an approx 10 viewer monthly average at the minute, oh wait, no. Is it oh no, it didn't. Hold on, let me go. Is that on this? No, it's not on here. Can I stop that movie? No, I can't. What I'll do, you can see my mouse, can't you? Oh, wait, no, it won't because it's over in that section. All right, okay. There's a section at the side that's not in this where it tells you what top percentage of Twitch you are, like in terms of viewers, which can be pretty interesting. So, as well as looking at your own stats, you also want to be looking at games, right? So, it also has a very useful... Oh, yeah, that's just a reminder of the web thing. All right, it's getting on for break time soon. Don't worry about it. So, there's also www.twitchtracker.com/games/2-stream, which you can go to as well. And this is very interesting. This has a ranked list of the top 168 games with the most visibility prospects, calculated from data over the past 7 days. So in short, mathematically speaking, the games that it displays and what rank they're given are ranked by the ratio number. The ratio is the number of average streams, or is that streamers? I can't remember. The website will say it anyway. The number of average streams in the last 7 days compared to the average number of viewers per stream. So, and it is only mathematically speaking, you have a bit more of a chance of getting a few more viewers popping by your streams from streaming some of these. Of course, it's not just as simple as playing that game and then you just have people rolling in. You know, you've got to get known in that category. So a category that's pretty high, you may want to stream it for like 3 or 4 streams to see what happens there. Like we said before, make sure to give any change that you make some time. A lot of the top entries, especially for the main or popular games, are going to have their ratio skewed upwards. So be aware of that, because some of these games will have had... This is a screenshot that I took some time ago, but some of these games will have had a streamer, perhaps, that's got like, you know, a big following of like many thousands of viewers that's maybe played it and bumped these numbers up a little bit. But what you could do is go through this list and see if there's any games that you've already got that are for some reason high up in the list right there and give them a try. Even if it's something you wouldn't normally try. So you can scroll through the list and look for the look in the top 150 games. Well, it's 168 for some that you own. I've literally just said that. There's no guarantee of great results right off the bat, but the top games are popular for any number of reasons. Okay, so in the 4th column, where there's the green number, if you can see that one, next to the blue one, if the 4th if the fourth, Jesus, that's a tongue twister for me, number in green is high, then and the blue number is low, it seems to indicate a real big streamer has played the game recently. I don't know. That's a bit of my interpretation. I'm not going to insist on that. But what makes this list interesting is the top streamed games, such as Fortnite and Call of Duty, don't appear in this list. Like, I went through at the time of grabbing these screenshots, I went through the entire list, and Call of Duty and Fortnite were not there because they're oversaturated. You can see right down here in place number 165, there's Fall Guys, which only just makes it into the chart. So that doesn't have very good prospects, in my opinion. You know, they can be fun. They can be fun games to play with friends. But I think because of the oversaturation, which is almost a constant factor in games like Fall Guys and COD, it's really hard to grow in those areas unless you are really good at playing those games and you almost always win. Because that's the only way that you get such a reputation that people will find you. I've literally just explained that bit. What you may notice, if I go back 1 second, is that, to the other thing, oh, actually, that's wrong. But when you're looking through the whole list, what you may notice is there are a lot of multiplayer games in there. And that is something to look out for, because if there's a multiplayer game, it's something where you interact with other people, which is always a bit more interesting than streaming a single player game. I mean, you can make a success of playing a single player game, but then you're restricting yourself to it's just being how you play the game, which can be pretty interesting. Don't get me wrong, it can be pretty interesting, but if there's a multiplayer game out there, then also something which can contribute to the entertainment and interest in your stream, you know, when people are watching, is what happens between you and other people, which can be funny, sad, hilarious, or just cringe. Or all of them. If it's my stream, it's probably all of them at once. Usually when I'm just drinking and playing Holdfast. You know, that being said, multiplayer games can be tough and addictive, and they can bring out the worst in people. So, you know, just try to be aware of how you look if things aren't going well. Oh, wait, I should have moved on to this other slide. And oh, yeah, because we moved backwards. Never mind. I've just said most of that. With all that said, it may feel like an impossible task to find the right game. You know, the one that's going to bring in the viewers and make an exciting stream. But that's okay. You may get things wrong when you first go in. But if you're still growing, if you're still at the beginning of your journey, it's all right to make mistakes. They're one of the best ways that you can grow is by getting things wrong. And then recognizing that things weren't working and then trying to change them. So long as you maintain a can-do attitude and you're like, okay, this didn't work. I was pretty cringe on that. I regret doing this, that, and the other. And then think of how, instead of doing what you shouldn't have done, think on the other side of how you can do more. That made sense in my head. I don't know if it made sense to anyone else. All right, what's the next slide is... Oh, it's break time. Okay. So... we do like to have a little break time, which is good because it can give my voice a little rest from speaking for a little bit. So, I'm going to have like about a 5-minute break. I hope the break is set up correctly. Let me just check. Oh, wait, no. Wait, no, that's getting the wrong... That's grabbing the wrong screen. That's not allowed. It was grabbing the behind the scenes screen. Oh, wait, but this has its own music track. What if I just turn that off and then that's not on? And then I just leave that like that. Right, so why is that counting down so fast? All right, so I'm going to set this with a 10-minute count. It's on 200%. What the hell's wrong with me? Okay, we'll start that from there. So we'll be back into it in 10 minutes time. I'm going to have like a 5-minute break. If anyone's got any questions about anything that we've discussed so far, feel free to ask them in the chat and I shall reply to them upon my return. But if not, just, get yourself a snack, get yourself some, I don't know, a drink, have a wee break. I'm going to do that now. And I'll see you again in 9 minutes and 30 seconds-ish. Well, I'll be back before then. All right, I'm back. It wasn't exactly 5 minutes. Whoops. It was a little bit longer. Can't remember if it was covered, but how do people come up with clever titles as I have no clue about this? There isn't... I don't think there's really a way. I don't think there's really a way for how you do it. It's just a case of maybe looking at other people's streams and see what they're doing. Maybe have some sort of like, if you could fit it in your stream title, maybe a little joke. Obviously, you want some of it to be about what you're playing in your stream title, usually. But we are going to have a little bit of advice on doing titles and ways that you can make them catchy. Like some people, and we're going to go over this in a bit, so I'm just spoiling like one of the sections. Some people use like all caps to like try and grab attention, which can work, but it doesn't always work. It works if you already have a following a bit, I think. But at the same time, it comes across as shouty and attention seeking, so I'm not particularly a fan of it. Personally speaking, I'm not really a fan of having like a stream title that's in all caps. Like you can have some capital bits in it, like maybe saying the best action in whatever type of game you're playing or something like that. But you can just emulate or you know, just try and look at what other people are doing and then maybe adapt it for your stream and what you're playing. There's no harm in that. Like, I don't think anyone would be like, oh my god, he's copying my way of doing stream titles, oh my god. If someone is like that, then they need to get a life, because like I don't think it would be very obvious if you did something like that anyway, but I always think that imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. In my opinion. I think it's amazing what you're doing. Well, that's nice to know. I mean, if this helps even a couple of people and it improves their numbers, then that's pretty good. It might, the tips and things in here that we're going to be discussing might not get you to the top of the pile or anything like that, but they'll certainly give you a good boost. And, you know, sometimes if you look at the people that have hundreds or thousands of people in their stream, like the chat is so busy that it's really almost impossible for the streamer to interact that much with their chat. I mean, they've probably grown to the point where they're at a critical mass and the chat will probably sustain itself. But yeah, I'd rather have a smaller number of people that are chatting rather than a big number of people that either like are just being those streamer support people that just come in and just lurk. And that's all they do. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but it's not the best atmosphere for your stream because it doesn't give you a lot to bounce off. I prefer some kind of middle ground with just, you know, well, what I more or less have really, which is like just about enough people so that they can talk and I can answer them without it being too overcrowded. And that's how I look at things. Right, okay, so just to remind people of where we're at, even though I know this section's wrong. We've now done the break and we're now into the second half of the presentation. And the slide numbers there are wrong. We're going to be going through slide 58 to 109 in the next bit. So the split is about halfway through the presentation. Okay, let's get back into it. Let's not waste any more time. So I think there was a moment of double music there. Still haven't figured out how to make the sound fade across transitions. Okay, so moving on. Oh, where's my script? All right, here it is. Tips for the road to affiliate. I mean, these are just tips that are probably going to get you up to affiliate. Then it's not a guarantee, but like we said before, we're going to be looking at this in terms of those 5 areas of streaming. And so this is networking and marketing. And this is something which is pretty important. I've got a section where I'll explain why it's important in a bit, so I'll not prejudge that right now. Okay. Practice makes perfect. Well, it probably gives you some gains, even. So it's about as boring as this may sound. Marketing and networking are vital skills that you will have to learn and use in order to grow your stream. Like any new skill that you're not good at, or not really, all that keen on doing the things which we're going to be talking about can seem like a lot of effort when you're not used to doing them, when you're not practiced in doing them. But with practice, just like playing the piano, these things become easier. Break screen showing. Oh yeah. Sugar. Thanks for calling that one out, Teddy. You didn't really miss much. Literally, this is the first slide. So anyway, but good shout out there as well. See, I wouldn't have noticed that because I have to have my obs covered up to have everything that I need on screen, sadly. Oh wait, or do I? Do I actually? Can I? If I was to, where's my mouse? If I was to click on here, oh, it will go forward. Why did that put the things in there in the reverse order? Never mind. Okay, so actually, it's not as bad as all that. I can do it this way and this will be fine. Bonjour, hello, welcome on in, Edward. Hope you're doing pretty well. All right, now this text is far too big. Can I put this back on the mode it was on before? Right, okay. Oh, it's completely lost my place now. Right, okay, so here we go. So, the easiest place to start with networking and putting yourself out there is Discord. Oh wait, no, I do actually like having that thing over there. Waiting for hot tub parts to arrive. Ooh, that sounds like a future content availability for you. A hot tub stream. Always very fun. Maybe not fun all the time unless you're intent on becoming a titty streamer. But that's not judging. Not judging. Oh, it's gone right back up to the top now. I've changed that mode. Let me furiously scroll down real quick. Oh, I've gone too far now. Wait, okay, here we go. Right, I found my place again now. Right, so yeah, Discord is a great place to get started. There's like lots of little small communities that you can join and get involved in. Oh, look at this fancy graphic. That's the image that the AI generated when I typed in the word Discord. That's what it generated. And I don't know why, because that looks nothing like Discord, but that's what it did. So if you're streaming a game, see if it has an official or even unofficial Discord. And if it does, read the rules about how it works and if you can post links to your content there. Especially read the rules regarding advertising. You could have a great resource there, but if you don't follow the rules, you might get warned or even straight up banned. Why do I feel like I have... Oh, this music needs to go down a little bit. It's a bit loud now. Where's the volume slider? Where's the volume slider gone? I'm going to have to get this up here. There we are. It's just background music, but it was a little bit distracting. Well, looking very discordious. I mean, yeah, I guess you're not wrong. In some ways, you're not wrong. So yeah, post your links in the official game Discord if you can. And, as well as just posting a link to your stream, maybe write a little bit in your post about what you're doing and why people should come to your stream. Think of things, that you've got on your stream that's pretty cool. Maybe some fancy graphics. Maybe some unique ways of interacting. Maybe you could just be like, I'm a professional, I don't know. Edward's pretty good at singing, so it could be like, come and join me, my lovelies, in this with one of the most wonderful voices of singing that you'll ever know. Unless he's drinking, in which case, it's not always good singing, but it's funny. Okay, and here's a little thing. Starting your own Discord? I don't know about that. Why is one of the things missing? Okay. Building a Twitch community from nothing alone is a hard task. Don't make it doubly hard by also having to be starting off your own Discord community at the same time too. Because then you've got two things to manage, keep on top of, and try and keep the action and the good times flowing in. It can be doubly hard. More than likely, wait, what? More than likely, you've gathered steam for a while. Oh, right. Okay. No. More than likely, when you're doing you're growing your Twitch community and your Discord thing, you'll grow for a while. Things will be looking pretty good, but then things will slow down and get a bit quiet. Then the awkward silences on your stream, if you're playing a game and you're pretty low energy and you haven't really been talking all that much in it, or in your Discord, they can stretch out for a bit too long, so it feels more awkward to break the silence than just let it roll on. So I would suggest, if you know other people that are of a like mind, maybe make friends with them, and if they have a Discord, join theirs instead. It does mean being involved in more people's Discords and being active and talking and communicating, but, if you join in a friend's Discord, or like some Discord related to the game, for instance, like we just spoke about, then there's already an existing community of fans there that you can tap into and tell what you're doing. It's much easier than just having your own Discord. But having said that, don't just join someone's Discord just to spam links and nothing else. Like, how can you expect that to work? If no one in that Discord community knows you, why would they spare you the time? If they don't know anything about you, don't just join the Discord and interact with the community. Wait, no, I missed out a little thingy there. God, I really should have read through this script. Don't just join the Discord, interact with the community, really interact with it. And I mean, really become a part of that Discord. And then people will know you as a person, they'll know a bit about your personality, and they're much more likely to come by when you're doing streaming. And there's some people that I've noticed that try to get the most out with the least effort, and will just post their links in a dozen or so Discords, and it doesn't really bring them anything. You start by piggybacking off a Yogg's friend. Put your dick in the Discord. That could get you banned. I wouldn't recommend that. Maybe there's a section for that on the Discord. Maybe that's a way, that's something you can maybe do, but I'm not going to recommend that. But you can do that if you wish to. Okay, I don't have, right, so this is going to be a new tip, but it doesn't have its own, mini slide in between. But this is a really important one. Always raid out. When you raid out, that's the process, if you're not aware of, where at the end of your stream, you use Twitch's raid function to go and send everyone over to someone else's stream. It's a really cool thing to do, and when you do it, just for a few, when you raid out, just for a few minutes until some of the people drift away, which, is natural, it's going to happen. You introduce all of your viewers to another streamer that they have maybe never seen before. And this creates a relationship between you and that other streamer. They'll be happy to receive new people. I mean, of course they would. You send them over, you might give that person some raids and some follows from your community. That's how you network. That's one of the ways. And, if something like that does happen and you've got a few people there, or even if you just raid, you'll probably at least get a follow back from the streamer themselves. A lot of streamers also have that thing where they can do shout outs. So they can shout you out when you raid them, which is pretty good. And some of those will have a function where seduce it, just a tip. Calm down, Edward. A lot of them will have that shout out thing where when they shout you out, it'll play a clip of yours on stream. And that's a great way to get yourself some exposure. So, if you don't raid out, then you're going to be missing on that. Even if you just have a few viewers, always raid someone. Right, just think, if, you might think that it's not worth doing if you only have a few viewers. You might be like, oh, there's not really any point. There's only a few people. But just think of when you get a raid in, no matter what the number is, just think of how good it feels. Like someone's taken the time to bring all of their people over to you. And imagine the very little effort required by you for you to give that feeling to another person. It's always worth doing. I've been told... Oh, wait. What's this? I've been told that there are rare reports that there are a few streamers out there that get mad if you raid them and you've only got a few viewers, and they'll be like, oh, thanks for the raid with nobody there. I've never experienced it myself. But if someone does stop watching... if someone does do that, then stop watching their channel immediately and never raid that ungrateful motherfucking shithead again. Seriously, who does that? Who says, oh, that's not enough people for a raid on my stream? I don't know. It's never happened to me, like I've said. But if none of the people that you regularly follow are live, or you feel like mixing it up a bit, try to raid out on a random person. Probably a random person playing the same game that you were before you ended your stream. Stream. It may be wise to have like a shutdown screen or an animation, like a little ending screen where you can like still have your stream going, but you can then be looking around for someone to raid out on. Edward, thank you very much. Oh, wait, no, that's Bulwar. Bulwar, thank you very much for the 19 months. I always look up gamers playing the same shit I am. Exactly. This man gets it. This man gets it. Oh, yeah. It's always probably like, if you are going to raid them, maybe like just have a quick actually go on their stream and just make sure they're not in followers only mode, because that's kind of cringe, just saying. Oh, yeah, you also maybe want to think about actually watching them just to make sure that they don't have any horrible audio levels that are completely horrible, or or they're just unpleasant, like they're just swearing and just being idiots. Unless that's your thing. If that's your thing, then that's fine. Also, stick around a little bit and talk to them. I definitely recommend that, because if they're a new streamer, they may not have got in the habit of glancing at their chat very often, so they might maybe take a little while to respond to your message, especially if they don't have many people there and they're new. But if you talk instead of raiding and just vanishing, chances are they'll remember you stuck around, and that makes getting that follow, at least from the streamer, much, much more likely. And each time you oh wait, no, that's this slide. Moving on. Yes, he does, indeed. Each time that you don't raid, you miss out on a potential new friend, a new regular viewer, or even like any bits or subs that they might throw your way, because maybe that person that you were going to raid has a lot of money, you know what I mean? And might be very generous with that money. You never can tell. And there's another thing to think of as well, and that's the second point here. As nice as it is to support your regular streamer friends by raiding them, after a few times, that's probably not going to result in as many new followers for you. Because if you've raided them a few times, then the people from their community that are regulars in their community that know you will already be following you. So I would say that, it's absolutely something you should do, but you also need to balance that with raids to complete randomers, as it creates new opportunities for growth instead of just revisiting a community you and most of the viewers that are watching you when you're raiding are already quite familiar with. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. But it's not got as much growth potential for you. Okay. And now more affiliate-facing tips. Personality, content, and mentality. So one of the texts is missing. Is it going to... Oh, right, there it is. Okay, so just to remind you, personality is how you behave and come across on stream. Content is the things you stream, the graphics and how it's presented, and mentality is how you feel about things. So, you're probably already aware that your content is your actual streams and ad hoc videos that you use to promote your stream, and these are very much under your control. And these can have a big impact on whether people who drop by stay or not. Play a game that people hate, and obviously you're not going to expect them to stay very long. But a lot of people do struggle with personality and mentality as well. And some, often if things aren't moving in the right direction, can feel like those two things, personality and mentality, are fixed, immovable things. You either have the right personality or you don't. You're either... Hold on, I'm going to move this back here. There we go. You either are resilient enough to cope with bad days, or a day where you can't stream games, or you can't win games even, or you aren't. Though it's harder to change your personality and mentality around, because it's, psychological and to do with things like that, than it is just streaming a different game. Changing your mental habits is possible. So the first tip, and this is one that will definitely increase the amount of time that people stay for, is just to talk to yourself. It's a basic but overlooked tip. How many times have you landed on someone's stream and seen that they're playing a game? You've been a bit interested in it, but then you notice they aren't really talking. They're literally just playing a game. How many times do you think someone follows that person compared to someone exactly the same that is talking about the game and saying what's going on and, filling that silence? It can, if you're not used to doing it, feel weird. But after a while, the talking to yourself, it becomes sort of like a second nature thing. It doesn't require very much and you can just keep doing it. It can be pretty hard, but, just talk about things like what's happening in the game. Give your opinion on, things that are like decisions on the story. If you're playing a story-based game, just be like, oh, I could do this. And then this character, I could shoot them in the head. If it's that kind of game. Just explain things. Because it requires just a little extra ounce of effort for a first-time viewer to start a conversation with a streamer that's in dead silence. Just an extra little ounce. And some people have no problem with that. But that's compared to, if they're joining in on a conversation, even if it's just you talking to yourself. You want to be trying to make the initial connection process between you and the viewer as easy as possible. So it's best not to have to make them break the silence. Explain what game activity is you're doing. We've just basically... Oh, wait. Oh, no, it's fine. Just explain what the objectives are, things like that. What do the icons on the interface mean? If a new name appears in the chat that's never been around the stream before, they may have a lot of questions about what is going on. They may be seeing this game on your stream for the first time. Okay. Reading the chat. Oh, what's this? Gonna pop over to irritate Nikki. No problem. No problem, Edward. Always nice to see you. Hope you have a good time. Hope that hot tub, when it's delivered, is all that you expected it to be, and erotically so much more. All right, reading the chat back. So you've probably noticed that some streamers read back the chat messages they receive. It's very much open to debate whether or not it's a good thing or not, but I would say if you're a small streamer, getting in the habit of reading a message that pops up in your chat before responding to it, it's kind of a good one. It may have been a little while since that message came through. Perhaps the person that sent it is also doing other things and is distracted. Reading the message gives them a little moment to snap back into focusing on you. It can also help if they have said something or write something in a way that's a little hard to understand. Some people don't have the best English skills, and if they hear you reading their message but you're reading it wrong, they can then correct you, whereas it's a bit harder for them to correct you on it if you just read it to yourself in the head. In the head? In your head. In your head. In your head. Zombie, in your head. Okay, here's a big one. Don't call out the lurkers. Don't do it. There's third-party streaming apps or even Twitch itself that has a moderator mode where you can actually view all the people who appear to be watching but haven't sent any messages or... Well, it just shows you a list of who's watching. But it's a bit inaccurate because it also contains bots. But it will contain a lot of names in there that you probably haven't seen and you don't think they're bots. But in just the same way that you want to make it easier for new people to join in on the conversation by talking to yourself, do not You do not want to call out the lurkers. You know, a lurker is someone that joins in, tunes into your stream, but doesn't say anything. They haven't said anything in the chat, not asked you anything or something. They're maybe just watching. Some of those lurkers are harmless bots. Some are people that are genuinely just chilling and watching in the background. The list may even include your regular viewers and chatters that just haven't said anything yet. I wouldn't call them out either. They might be just wanting to chill and watch. They might be in low effort mode, barely awake. Or maybe people that are viewing for the first time that have just a little anxiety about speaking up for the first time. Let them be. They'll probably speak up eventually if they want to. A newbie viewing your stream can feel pretty embarrassed about being called out as a lurker by name. And even a regular follower or someone that comes by your channel can find it rude. They'll probably, you know, if it's a regular person, they may actively decide against visiting your stream again if they're just browsing for someone to watch, you know, while they play other games or do whatever they're doing, because they'll remember that you call people out. So I wouldn't advise doing it. You know, but sometimes you get a few people in there and you see the view count go up. So in times like that, you can go, gosh, view count went up. Hope you all that have just tuned in are having a good time. And then you're acknowledging those people and you give them a chance to respond. But you don't call them out personally. You don't say, oh, hello there, Fastboy123. Welcome to the stream. I see you lurking there. You know, it can feel a bit invasive. But obviously, yeah, you want to be avoiding an awkward silence. So instead of calling out the lurkers... wait, no. What am I saying now? Oh, yeah. So, you know, you can try to encourage a response from them by asking them a question like, oh, I hope you've all had a good day today. Has anyone done anything cool? Ate any cool foods or done any interesting things this week? And obviously, sometimes if there's not many people there, maybe no one responds, which can be a bit awkward. But you can make that less awkward by giving your own answer and, you know, talking about something you've recently been doing and answering your own question almost as soon as you've asked it. Then it's not as awkward. I didn't think that was a big thing until someone called me out for lurking. It was awkward. Was it someone we both know, Teddy? Was it someone from the Discord? I have a slight feeling I may know who that is. Yeah, starts with an A, doesn't it? Anyway. Right, yeah, so that's that slide. Okay. Here's a little thing that I've seen some people do, and it's a trap you can easily get caught in. Just chatting doesn't mean just shitting on everything. Like I've seen some people, you know, where they're doing the just chatting and they're watching videos of, you know, people being idiots or something and then saying, oh my God, look at these people. Or they're watching scandalous things about like various scandalous things about various scandals. They're watching stuff where like it's something where someone's doing something outrageous or ridiculously stupid. Because you can give off some bad vibes without even knowing it. You know, humans can detect a whole range of physical and vocal tells. You know, just from listening to your voice, just from listening to mine now, you can probably tell that I'm having a drink. Because my throat was a little dry. Have you ever watched a streamer so long that before they even said anything, you knew they were about to change game or maybe end the stream or have a break or do something a bit different? Yeah, that's you using that part of your brain that can pick out all that stuff happening. A part of what can or cannot allow a viewer to connect with you is how you make them feel. Not just how you make them feel about you, but about the world. If you put people on a downer, like you're only ever looking at the bad things that happen in the world, you're only giving negative comments on stuff, it could put people off. And they might remember that that's the kind of thing you do when you do a just chatting, and they might never come by again. I mean, it's all right to give your opinion and criticize things, but try to balance it. Because you can offend someone even without directly talking to them. Like, if you're doing just chatting and you're talking about issues or stuff that's happening in the world or anywhere like that, or you're commenting on YouTube videos, try to not just negatively comment on everything. Just chatting can be a great way to grow your stream. Like, there's a lot of potential for it. But if you're just pointing out all the bad things and the problems with games, other people or societies or the world in general, you create a sort of negative vibe. Maybe it can be funny, you know, you can be like, oh my God, this stupid fucking, why are you doing that, you stupid idiot? Or something like that. It can be a funny vibe. It can be, you know, it can be funny, but it might be a bit negative. And eventually, if you do that kind of thing for too long, the funny can wear off for people. So, just chatting Just chatting also means speaking and reacting more than just playing a game. It also means you may, by quite accident, reveal a little too much about yourself. You know, you get caught in some explanation of something and then you've revealed a little too much about how you see the world. Some people, you know, like to think of themselves as being abrupt or brutally honest or rather opinionated, when actually they just have a very negative or offensive views on certain subjects. And this is part of your public image, so try to balance the negatives with the positives. People don't watch other streamers to be put on a negative vibe. Why do you go and watch a streamer? You want to have a good time, you want to chill out, maybe you want to support a friend. You don't really go there to have someone just shit all over things. It can be good, but I think that it has to be balanced in order for it to be entertaining long term. And if you suspect that your views may be offensive to quote unquote snowflakes, then it's probably best not to air them at all. Likely within your audience there's a lot more snowflakes than you think. And they aren't likely to stick around if you seem really negative or you just have a negative viewpoint of someone or something that they care about. So consider that. Your audience is the most important part. So, another thing that you should be trying to do, and these are all like, there's a massive amount of tips that we've been through already. So, if you've been rolling through this video, you may want to just, you know, take some notes on things you can do or that you think you want to work on, and maybe just work on a few of them at a time, because there's a lot of stuff here. Don't try to do everything different at once, because it'll be too much. With practice, it'll become better. It's better to practice a few things, get good at them, and then practice a few more things, get good at them, than it is to try and practice everything all at the same time. But there's nothing worse than finding a streamer and saying hello, and then them taking minutes to respond. So new people coming to your stream can send a message and maybe even end up leaving before the streamer responds. Yeah, I mean, you could say that some people may be impatient, but if they can go and check out some other streamer who does respond almost immediately, then they definitely won't come back. Who knows? Maybe they are impatient but rich, with lots of subs or donations to give away to the right channel. So just, you know, you never know what someone's story is when they come to your chat. So, you know, it can be interesting. What's that? Is that the same point we mentioned before? Be yourself. Oh yeah, that's basically the same thing. Don't try and be super nice and fake it, because eventually if someone sticks around your stream long enough, if you've got like that sort of like, oh, how you doing? Oh, thank you very much for stopping on by. Eventually they might see that mask start to slip off if they hang around a long time. So just be yourself. Then you don't have to be a happy, bubbly personality. Some of the people that are on the top of their game on Twitch don't have like a happy, bubbly, oh, hey, thanks for stopping by kind of personality. You don't have to do it. Okay. So that's all the tips we have for now on personality. Yes, that was just the first of the 3 sections. All right, so content. And this is important. In fact, there's so many things in here that it has multiple slides for this section. It just does. Be prepared to stream. Preparation is everything. Things happening unexpectedly in the middle of your stream, like technical difficulties or, you know, game crashes, can really throw you off your balance. Sometimes these things, will go wrong on their own. But if these are things you could have fixed or tested and figured out before the stream, then you should have done exactly that. When you're streaming, you don't want to be spending time fixing problems. You want to be spending that making the content and having a good time. As a really simple example, you decide you're going to play Rocket League. Rocket League's a car game. It's, played on a controller. And you always play it with a controller. But then you start your stream, get into the game, and realize your controller's not charged up. Suddenly, not only are you likely to lose the match because you can't really control your car very well, but you're probably going to have to go and find the cable or change game while you wait for the controller to charge, which is not a good look. And also, moving on from that, if you go AFK for something like finding that controller wire, or, just grabbing some food, having a quick break, having a quick time of something where you're just getting some food maybe, I don't know, or going to the toilet, that's dead time. That's time where you're not doing anything. And, it's all right having a little be right back message that you put up on your stream, but try and keep the action rolling, as it says there. So, it does really help if you have some kind of be right back screen or scene in your obs that you can switch to, and that people that don't have anything to do whilst you're away can, view and watch and have a good time with. And I'd recommend maybe a movie which is just like a collection of cool or funny clips and moments from your stream, so people can watch that while you're away. And that's also good for if you get any new people coming in, they'll have a look. You'll probably have it saying, "I'll be right back soon." So they'll probably figure out from that they're watching like a series of past funny moments. And then they can, that clip collection can introduce those new people to what you're all about. I'd also recommend a countdown. Yeah, absolutely. Definitely would recommend using like a countdown timer or image, or like we had in the OBS scene that we've got set up now. We have like a movie file, which is basically a counter that counts down. Because, a 5 or 10 minute countdown or something like that, this helps manage people's expectations of when you're going to be back. Sure, you can have an on-screen text message that just says, "Be right back in 10 minutes." But if you don't have a timer, people that turn up during the break won't know how far through that 10 minutes you are. You could be back 60 seconds from when they tune in, or 10 minutes. Some of them may not stick around to find out. Just manage their expectations a little bit about what's happening. Ooh, colourful whatever it is. I think that image on the left, I asked the AI to make neon cogs. COGS. I don't know why I asked it to make that, and I don't know why it came up with that, but I was like, oh, that's a pretty interesting image. So that's how that image was born. All right. Ooh, drink time. So, if you're playing a game, and it's a game you've never played before, test the settings and graphics and keys before going live. Sometimes it can be alright just loading up a game without any clue what it's all about on stream and experiencing it with your friends. It can be interesting. But if you're spending like 10, 15 minutes when you first start playing it, like going into the menu and either reconfiguring the keys or trying to figure out what they are to play the game, that's something you could have had a little look into before you started streaming. And wouldn't really spoil too much of the game for you, but it would just let you know how the keys are set up and how the graphics options are set up. And you can, imagine spending the first 5 minutes or so when you've got a new game tweaking the graphics settings. Yeah, especially if it's a newly released game. Not that I'm a fan of you playing those, as I said earlier. It can demand a lot of your system, and it can cause frame drops if your graphic settings are too high, leading to a rough experience for your viewers. You can record a clip of yourself playing the game in OBS to test how bad things are. And as an added tip, always turn VSync on in the graphics options, if it's there. But what is VSync? Do you know what that is? Well, I'll tell you. VSync is like a speed limiter for your graphics card. So VSync basically, when that option is turned on, the game tells the graphics card, right, do not draw more frames per second than this streamer's monitor can handle. So it limits the amount of frames that the graphics card produces to the amount that can be shown on your screen. Not on your OBS screen, but on your actual monitor, because your monitor might be a 60 FPS, a 120 FPS, a 360 FPS monitor. But yeah, always turn it on. So if you have VSync on, it limits it. If you don't have it on, it will just draw as many frames as the graphics card can, without any regard for how many frames a second you can see because of your monitor settings, or how many frames per second your stream viewers can see. And that is important because when you stream using OBS, the graphics card itself is used to render the frames and all the different sources and all the different text objects and everything. It will it will combine that all into one image using the graphics card. It doesn't need much, doesn't need very much at all. But if the graphics card is being 100%ed just because you didn't turn VSync on, that can lead to some very, very serious drops in FPS. In fact, I've watched a couple of people streaming games and streaming new games, and it's had low FPS, and they've not been able to figure out why. There's no bandwidth issues, there's nothing like that. But then they don't have the VSync option on. And honestly, sometimes that can take what their stream viewers see from being like a 10 FPS mess to being like a 60 FPS smooth experience. It really can. You may also want to consider, and you can usually do this from AMD or NVIDIA's graphics card settings directly, is set a max frame rate that's in line with your stream, especially if your graphics card ain't so good, because then you basically can lock your graphics card to only doing 30 FPS in video games, if that's what you've got for your stream. And you may think that, well, why would I want that if I can get like 120 FPS? Why would I want to lock it to that? But the thing is, if you're playing a graphically intensive game, then it's going to use a lot more of the graphics card to display them 120 FPS that you'll see compared to the 30 FPS that your stream sees. And that might mean that you reduce your graphics settings down to make it a smooth experience for yourself. But you've lowered the quality of the graphics for the people watching your stream. So if you lock the graphics FPS in line with your stream, that might mean you can turn on like some video options. You know, you'll have a bit of a reduced frame rate, but it might mean you can give a better video quality for your stream to see, which then looks better if it's a more detailed world and you haven't had to lower the settings to make textures blurry and things, just so it's a smooth experience for your 120 FPS monitor. On the subject of visuals, check your stream graphics. And I know at least one person that I visit regularly that maybe has a little issue with this. Make sure that your stream graphics aren't covering up critical information about the game that you're playing. You know, most games you have like graphics in the game, which are stuff like GUI HUD elements that tell you like how much ammo you've got, how much health you've got, how much time's remaining on the multiplayer match that you're playing, perhaps who's winning the multiplayer match that you're playing. Make sure that like your webcam and your any sort of like graphics that you've got aren't covering up anything like that. And we did talk about this in module 2, so I don't want to harp on about it too much. But if you have things like match statistics, who's winning the current multiplayer match that you're playing, if you've got that covered up, like without regular comments from you all the time about who's winning and who's leading, people watching your stream probably aren't going to know until the match ends whether your side was winning or the enemy side was winning. So it can cause problems where people can't get invested in the match because they don't know how well you're doing, if all that information is covered up. So another thing, startup checklist. The more complex your stream becomes with features and probably third-party programs and chatbots that you have working, the more points of failure you introduce, where something might stop working or need a bit of regular configuring. At some point, I would probably say you probably want to have yourself a little checklist of things that you load up and you just give a little test to make sure they're working before you go live. Just like an airplane pilot tests everything is working before setting off, it's a good idea to make sure all of the features are working. Excuse me. You know, all of the things that you can open and have ready and it's ready to go before you start streaming, just have a think about what things those are and get those open. What on earth is that image on the right hand side? I think I asked the AI to draw practice makes perfect, and I literally just gave it that. So what we end up with is practice the prettier and parensi indeas. I don't know. It just does its own thing sometimes. Oh wait, there's something here. Oh yes. Oh, yes, as well. Don't forget another thing that you need to do before you start your stream going, and this is actually quite important, is to make sure that you have set the right stream title, go live message, and you've set the correct gaming category. And this is important. Can I open my video producer a second? Let me see if I can. Where is it? Is it in here? Right, okay. Okay, this is important here because... Oh, wait, I've put this in the wrong window. I had a game where here, best holdfast officer and the worst gameplay. Was it this one? It could have been. Is it this one? Right, so in this, I was actually playing a game called Shadows of Doubt, right? That's the game I was playing. Let me just check I'm not talking smack. No, I'm definitely playing Shadows of Doubt there. Absolutely. The full stream was spent playing Shadows of Doubt. But I forgot to change my game at the beginning. So I'd been playing Mordhau at some time before, but I forgot to change my game to Shadows of Doubt. Now, because of this... If I look in, where am I? I only got 86 views on that. I say only, but that's probably quite a lot for some people. Hey, it's this stream. Oh, we're broadcasting it. But that does mean that my game, even after my stream, the video on demand replay will turn up in the Mordhau section. It always ends up in the section of the first game that you play. So even though I corrected it moments after starting streaming, my video on demand for this is going to be in Mordhau. So it's in the wrong game, basically. So it won't show up under Shadows of Doubt, even though that's what I'm playing. So people looking for Mordhau will be like, oh, what's that? That's a different Mordhau. They'll click into it, see it's a different game, and they'll just immediately leave. So they won't be as invested in watching long term. And you do want to think about that, actually. Because, like, if people watch your VODs... and it's people that are checking out the game for the first time, then they might drop you a follow just from watching the action off the VOD to see more of that. So always make sure before you press the start streaming button that you have picked the right game category. It's most important. All right, I'll move that out of the way now. Move this back over here. Oh, wait, can I move that and then bring that to the front? Okay. So... this is something that Kid Rip asked about a little bit earlier. Catchy titles and game category. Oh, I've just explained that point. I've literally just explained that point. Okay. Can I bring up... is there a way... is there a place where I can... oh, I maybe... oh, I'd have to move that. I tell you what, can I unpack this right here? Okay, I can. I'm going to drag... the chat into this window here so you can see it. So you can use... what's this? What's all that about? I didn't even see that announcement pop off. Never mind. This is what it is. Nikki just decided to do an announcement on my stream without telling me. It's all right. It's still pretty relevant, so I don't care. But you know what? Why am I doing this one? Why don't I do the one that I'm actually talking about? Stream information. Let's bring that over. How do I disconnect this? Okay, so I'll bring over the stream information window. So when you do in your title here, you may see that I've got a fancy graphic here. Now, if you're on Windows, I don't know, there'll be a way that you can do it on other things, but what you can do, I may need to move this over here, is you can hold down Windows key and then full stop or period if you're oh, it's put it in a different window. Right. Oh, it lets me drag it. That's pretty fun. And you can select from a list of emojis and you can add these to things. So I'll put some in here. It's not going to show them apparently until I go back up here. Huh? Ah, there we are, and it's put some emojis in, and you can use those to attract attention without needing to revert to all caps. So that is a really nice way that you can drop some emojis in your stream. Wait, where's my script gone? It's over here. All right, we're now on the second section of tips for the content piece. Don't worry, though, we're on slide 79 out of 109, so there's only 30 to go. All right, as well as making sure that you have the game and your stream ready to go live, also make sure your audience is ready. So if you're playing a different game, I think it helps to let people know in advance, like even during your streams leading up to it. Oh my god, I've just seen what the next slide's AI image is, and it's a bizarre one. Never mind. I don't believe there's any harm in telling you people that you're going to be playing a different game. In fact, if you're thinking about changing games, I definitely would recommend on your streams before you're going to be playing that different game, letting people know. Just get them used to it. You know, you should just not just say, oh, I'm going to be playing this game, hopefully it's all right. Try and tease it and be like, I'm going to be playing such an awesome game. It's not my regular game, but it's going to be so good. Oh, it's got these wonderful effects in it. It's got a crazy community about it. It's going to be a fun time. And just big up what you're going to be playing and get people a bit invested in watching it. You know, you can also make social media posts, you know, on Twitter or Instagram or wherever, you know, just showing it or showing maybe an image from it and asking people if they can figure out what it is. Get people a bit engaged in it. And you should also make sure before you do in a stream that you are ready. You know, are you well fed? Do you have a drink ready? You know, have you been to the toilet and done the things you need to do? There's basic stuff like that. But then there's also like higher stuff. Are you feeling ready to stream? Do you have high energy levels? You know, if you're on a stream day, there's no harm in like an hour or two before you're doing the stream, like maybe having some coffee or energy drinks to get you feeling a bit more, you know, buzzed and ready to go. You know, if you have those high energy levels, it can help, you know, your stream be a bit more of a fun time. It can make you louder, more talkative. It's good. It's no fun to watching someone who is that's streaming, but they're also like just too tired. It can also be a bit off-putting if someone needs a food or toilet break about half an hour into the stream, because like as a viewer, you look at that and you think, well, surely you could have done that before the stream. I don't know. Maybe I'm being a bit too judgmental. But are you feeling in a good mood? I've seen people stream where they're clearly having a bad time. You know, they're clearly in a bad mood. Something's gone wrong during the day and they're playing a multiplayer game. They're not winning. They're getting pretty angry about stuff. And it's, you know, it's not very good. Like if you ever do find yourself on a day like that, try and look back over your day and use some time to analyze what happened and how you felt about it and why you're still carrying that through your day. And then when you identify that and you recognize it, you can sort of like be like, okay, so that happened and this is how I felt about it. But in the future, I need to maybe try and change that so that doesn't make me angry or upset. You know, it might not be something that you can just cut out of your life. It might be something to do with a family member that's put you in a bad mood. But, you know, if you recognize what triggers you and puts you in a bad mood, you can not stop it affecting you maybe, but you can maybe mitigate it. Oh, wait a sec. Oh, I'm an idiot. I should have gone on to the next slide already. Well, that's a crazy image. I can't actually remember what I put in. I think, oh no, I put in girl drinking coffee. And it decided to have like a girl with a very big leather tongue drinking out of a massive pot of coffee. That's cursed. That's actually cursed. Actually a cursed image. So yeah. I don't even know. I don't even know how it got that. I think it knows what drinking is. It's where like liquid goes into the mouth, so it's got that right. But it seems to be assuming one can psionically will the liquid into the mouth. It's got some way to go. It's got some way to go. So yeah, if you're in a bad mood and you're streaming, that's not right. Yeah, it's not right. Hello, Bulwar. And thank you again for the sub as well from earlier. I do appreciate it. If the streamer's actually getting annoyed or angry at the game, you know, then what if you come in and look at their chat and you know a few things about things that could help them in the game, but they're angry and they're not having a good time and they've got heightened emotions? You know, even well-meant advice from a viewer can cause, and I've seen it happen, like a negative reaction from the streamer, where the streamer practically insults them. It's not good, and it's not going to get you any follows. Don't do that. So if you are streaming, be aware if you're in a bad mood, and be aware of how that looks to others. Don't be that person. Oh, wait. Why have I... Wait, what? Have I gone backwards? I think I've somehow gone backwards. Don't stream mad. We've just done that one. I've got a couple of extra slides from somewhere. Huh? 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 We've got repeated bloody frames in this. Oh dear. Right, okay. Well, we're going to zip through a couple of frames. That's that one again. Don't stream mad. We've really just gone through this one. That guy there looks like he's having a bad time. He's got a t-shirt that says Tanj Tigi on it. I don't know what that means. But the next thing is pretty important as well. And I've noticed this, and I bet any of you that are streaming have noticed this too. Mid-stream game changes. They always result in viewer drop-off. Like, have you ever been watching a streamer having a good time playing a game that you enjoyed watching, but then out of the blue, they just change game and start playing something completely different? You probably have. Even viewers have. How did it make you feel? Did you want to keep watching them playing that new game, or did you want them to go back to playing what they were before? Did you keep watching them? Unannounced game changes, like where you change midstream, are quite frequently going to lead to big decreases in your audience numbers. But why? Why is this? Well, any of you that have streamed probably have noticed this if you change game, that you usually lose a couple of viewers. But to look into this, we have to think about who is going to be watching you all the time. You've got your very regular followers, you know, your real good friends that are following and maybe even subscribed and have watched your streams for a long while. And then you've got casuals that have turn up every now and again, but you know, it's always fun when they do. And then you've got like your first time viewers and your randomers that maybe just come by every once in a blue moon. So it's probably not gonna blow anyone's brains out for me to explain that obviously you want to be moving people up this list from one category to the next, you know, from a first time viewer to a bit of a casual follower and a very regular follower. You know, if you've ever looked at your stream statistics after a stream, if you've done any streaming, you'll probably have noticed that there was a lot more unique viewers to your stream than there was people typing in chat. There'll be a lot of people that turn up and don't say very much. They're like your first-time viewers. The random viewers are the easiest group to turn into followers. You know, just talk to them for a bit if they're speaking, and you'll almost certainly get a follow. You know, just make them feel welcome and also interested in your stream. Feel free to just say a little bit about what kind of games you stream and be like, oh, hey, nice to see you here. You a fan of this game? You like it? Do you want some drugs? Well, don't say that. Don't say that. That's not allowed on Twitch, by the way. That was sarcasm. I just want to make that clear that that was not in any way. Oh my God, the next image is cursed as well. The next image is really cursed. Oh dear. So yeah, don't do that. You know, changing the game won't make everyone leave, though. Just remember that. You know, people that are just randomers or first-time viewers may stick around if they're into that game, but they probably, the first two groups would turn up to see you play the game you started on. But it's just one of those things. I used to change games a lot during streams, but I've sort of stopped doing that because it always leads to a fall-off. And the bigger your numbers are, you know, the bigger the amount of people viewing you, the bigger that fall-off is usually. And that's not to say that people are, you know, bad for leaving. If they're not interested, they're not interested, and that's fine. Wait, I've lost my place now. Oh yeah, and another thing to bear in mind, and this goes down to having a be right back screen, which we've already talked about, is, you know, when you're changing games, also have a be right back screen or something, you know, like a clip collection there to entertain people while you're getting the new game loaded up. I think. It depends. If you know you're going to be playing a game that has a long load up time, I'd definitely do that. Because, you know, otherwise, like that time where you're changing games is dead time. It's time where it gives people that are watching a little moment to stop, have a look around, look at the phone, realize what time it is, maybe go to bed, when you could have kept your entertaining spell over them if you'd had like a clip collection, you know, because when they're watching you, you know, you get into it, you get invested, hopefully. Well, not everyone, but some people do. You know, and when you just have that dead time, it can be, if it's too long, it can sort of make people maybe not tune out, but maybe sort of like realize what's going off and what time it is, and maybe go to bed or go to their appointment or whatever, which, you know, you don't want to keep them from that, but also you kind of do, in my opinion. So keep that entertaining spell wherever you can. So if you've got a clip collection, it gives them something to focus on while you're changing game. Okay. What's this? All right, so here's the cursed image. Look at these faces. They're very cursed. Right, so time change, we've just explained this. Time changing game is not time entertaining. The entertainment spell is broken. Keep reminding people that when you're changing games. So yeah, if you do have a regular game change somewhere in your schedule, just let people know, keep reminding people in advance of it happening. Hope you're all having a fun time watching this. We are going to be changing game in about 45 minutes. We're going to be playing some Dark Souls. That would be good, won't it? I hate Dark Souls. It's terrible. But I'm going to play it, goddammit, and you can have a good time by watching it. You can watch me and watch the cringe unfold. You know, also like try and big it up a little bit, what you're going to be changing into. Oh no. Oh no. Oh yes. Those faces are like, what's that one? The eyes aren't even in the right place. The weird thing is that face there actually looks a little bit like an old university friend that I used to go to university with. Right, so anyway, that's that tip. All right, and the final of this section is mentality. And this one isn't so much about, like, you know, your mental state. Well, it's more about how you view the streaming process, this one. Technical issues and broken features are a big deal. You know, sometimes some things go wrong, like an alert doesn't go off or a redeem doesn't function. You know, if you're watching this video, I guess you want to make a success out of your streaming career, and therefore you also probably want to make money as professionally as possible. Therefore, be a professional. When problems occur, fix them. Streamers often say, I'll figure that out after the stream. But then by the end of the stream, they've maybe forgotten about it. I've known some streamers who have problems which I know how to fix and try to advise them how to fix it. And they tell me they'll do it later, and sometimes it doesn't get done. people, streamers do worry a little bit that sat there umming and ahhing a little bit. How do I fix this? And, just being a bit of a like, ooh, how do I fix this? Is sort of like a bad thing. But if you got a Be Right Back screen, you can fling them over to that while you try and fix the issue. But, you'd get a bit of respect from your audience members if you take that time. Because if someone tried to use like a channel redeem or something on you, or like some other feature of your stream, and they went and tried to use it and it didn't work, then that's one person that wanted to use that thing. So if you can fix it right there and then, you get a bit of respect from that person for doing it. And the great thing is, even whatever you do, like the more live fixing experience you get whilst you're on your stream, the more comfortable you'll be doing it. And the more comfortable your audience will be when it happens. Obviously, they probably shouldn't be comfortable with the fact that your stream breaks all the time. So let's hope that doesn't happen. So just cut to a Be Right Back screen. And yeah, if you have Stream Elements or Streamlabs features in your stream, I would recommend joining their Discords as well. They have sections, they have areas in their Discords where they can help you, and they're pretty good at getting back in touch with you. They have like actual staff there that will try and help you. They might not be instant, but they'll get there eventually. Wait, okay. Oh, I should have moved to the other screen. See, here we are. We got a plumber. He's fixing a pipe with his 3 hands. What? Wait, no, with his 4. Wait, what? All right, don't look at it. Don't look at it too closely. Don't look at it too close. Oh dear. Oh no. Right. Okay. Yeah. If a major. Oh, wait, no. Is that this one? Okay, yep. So we're basically going through that one. Thank God I can get off that image. Right, so if you have a major problem like video quality or buffering issues, it's great to ask the audience if they all have the issue. If it's just one person, it's likely their internet connection. But if it's multiple people, it's likely either something on your end or somewhere in... somewhere in between. It might be worth... using, can I bring over the, where is it? It's over here. There is a function on the Twitch dashboard over here where you can add a stream marker and you can go into the video producer and check out that stream marker afterwards. So maybe you wanna add a stream marker saying that you can look at something like a big problem after the stream. And just see if there's anything that you can see when you watch your stream back as other people saw it that was the problem. It might just help you figure it out. But then maybe it won't. But then maybe it will. Who knows? Right, so I've lost my script now. Where is it? Okay, it's here. Why is this section here? That's a section from much earlier. And some things like, as we talked about much earlier, having like an emergency mode, which is going to use lower bit rate if it is a problem with your internet, can be useful. If it helps to fix the issue, if you know it's going to fix the issue, it's okay to end your stream. It's pretty okay to lose the stream. To end the stream momentarily while you change a setting that you can't change otherwise, like your bitrate. And that's perfectly fine. You may lose a few viewers, but if you say before you end your stream, you're like, okay, guys, I just need to end the stream a moment. I need to adjust my bitrate settings. Apparently my internet's having a wobbler. So don't go anywhere. I'll be right back before you even know I've gone. Well, that's probably a lie, but it's something like that saying what you're about to do, it will help. You probably still lose some viewers, but those viewers are probably like bots that think that you finish your stream and they go off to find someone else to lurk on. Don't know why they do that, but they do. But yeah, I mean, that might not be ideal. You might not want to do the end in stream thing. But the thing is, if you can end the stream and you can solve the problems out there and then, especially if it's an issue like video quality or bandwidth related, then you may lose more viewers by hoping that the problem goes away than attempting to fix it like it says right here. And then people see that you've got the ability to solve these problems as well. All right. Another thing. We did sort of mention this a little bit earlier, so I don't want to touch on it too much here. But, you know, this is a marathon, not a sprint. You're not going to just blow up. It's going to take time. The numbers can go up or down. So, where's my mouse? So settle into the rhythm of having yourself a regular schedule. Don't overstretch yourself. Have some days off as well. Have some you time. You may not need, when you first start going up and things are going really well, you may not want to take time off. You may not want those days out of your stream. And you may be basking in the euphoria of success. But when that euphoria wears off and the numbers sort of plateau a little bit, you'll start to feel like you're committed to all of these stream times. And there comes a point where, as well as streaming, you will be spending some of your free time networking. You know, we talked about supporting other people. You know, you'll be spending some of your time. Oh, no, the next image that's on the next slide is cursed too. I mean, this one's fairly cursed. This is AI imagery, by the way, if you turned up late on these images. But the next one's kind of cursed. Yeah, but there is going to be, as you settle into making friends with people on Discord and introducing yourself to other streamers, you'll be spending a bit of your time on other streamers' streams. And that's fine. That's not cringe. That's just what you need to do. Yeah, so why does that say days off? Stream regularly, but not all the time. All right, so yeah, that's the thing. All right, so it's a bit cursed. Be comfortable. You know, if I cast my mind back, my very aged, very old mind, I can still remember the first time, all the way back when. I think it was in August. Was it in August? September, August 2021? When I first restarted streaming, being all nervous, like, oh my God, the adrenaline rush, the fear of making an ass in front of myself. I became very good at that, but I was worried about that at first. Now that's practically my brand. Worrying that people would think my voice is cringe or weird, you know. Being weirded out by a man in his 30s streaming computer games. Maybe I should say we, because hopefully you've started streaming by now, was under the impression that just pressing go live would result in tens or hundreds of people just coming in. And as you may know, if you've been giving this a go, reality's a bit different. And when you're nervous, it can show, and nerves can turn you into a bigger clown than you already feel. But with practice and a consistent, regular schedule, those nerves will disappear and you'll feel much more comfortable doing things. And letting your hair down a little. And maybe even turning on your webcam. You never know. And it's important to let your hair down. I don't want to look at the image. I just don't want to do it. I don't know, man. I sprinted to a fill by making an ass of myself. That's true. Sometimes it works for people. You actually have the real best voice. You see, a lot of people have told me that, right? And yeah, there's maybe something about it. But to me, it's just cringe. It's just actual goddamn cringe. But yeah, it's important to let your hair down. There's going to be good days and there's going to be bad days in your life, your IRL life. And even if you don't need the support of your viewers, you know, you could tell them about the good things and the bad things that are going on in your life as well. And you probably should, but obviously don't give away any personal information or let them know where you live. Otherwise, it might come around and, you know, how they appear in your chat might not be how they appear on your front door. You know, but if you do talk about your real life, it's a good way to connect with people and then make them feel more invested in your stream and you as a person. And then before you know it, you're not really streaming to random weirdos anymore. You're streaming to friends. Although some of them may still be weirdos. Wait, is this... Okay. I didn't fully format this. Wait, is this... Oh, right. Okay, so I'm there. Okay. My script is... Don't worry. We're nearly done. How long have I been going? 2 hours 40. My God, this took longer than I thought it was going to. I thought I'd be done in 2 hours. We're not even done yet. The long road to partner. Also, hello, Dr. Beer. Hello, Dr. Beer. I hope you're doing pretty good. Thanks for tuning in. Right, so I don't have as many tips for people on the way to partner as I did for everything else because, as you may notice, I'm not actually a partner yet, and I'm not motivated to get it now because there's no point. I get the same revenue share. What do I get? A little purple tick? Oh, that's nice. Yeah, don't mind that. You used to get a bigger revenue percentage, but they stopped that, so it's kind of So, we talked about this earlier. Discord is a great place to start marketing, but at some point, that's not going to be enough. You know, unless you're intending joining 1 million Discords and developing 1 million friends in 1 million different Discords, and I'm not even kidding about the percentages, you're going to want to step into more social media like Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. So, use the social media platforms in different ways. If you think just posting links to your stream in some random Discord where they've never heard of you is gonna work, you're wrong. It may bring results, but, you know, it may not. And also, like, if you're gonna have different social medias, like you can see the cursed, the cursed Twitter, the cursed Nacebook, I guess that is. I don't know what that's meant to be, and I've got no idea what that is. That's meant to say marketing manager. Marketing manager. Markekege. I don't know what that says. AIR, isn't it? Wait, where was I? I've lost my place now. If you're going to use social media, as well as attracting people from those social media platforms, you also want to think about this. As well as attracting people from there, you want to be building up, you know, nice follower numbers there as well. So what you also have to do is you have to attract the people that are already fans of your stream and that are in your streaming community to those places. So I would say that probably to attract them to all places if they're really interested, and this is more of a tip when you're well on your way to partner, so bear that in mind, is to use them in different ways. Like on Instagram, post pictures about things that's happening in your real life. I don't know what you'd post on Facebook. I haven't been on Facebook for about 7 years. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is anymore. But Twitter, everyone likes to argue with each other, so a great way to utilize that would be to post your takes on controversial topics of the day, maybe. And you know, on all of those social media platforms, you also want to be advertising yourself, but you know, you want to be growing your numbers, making yourself look like more of a big fish by having bigger followers. So as well as attracting people to your stream, you want to attract people to these places that are your fans anyway. Right, so that's all of that. Okay. So you may think advertising in this manner is cringe, you know, spamming Discords, doing all this. And, you know, if you're really new to the game, you know, you'll just be thinking people will just come to your stream when you go live, right? That'll work, right? If you haven't already, you have to get out of the idea that just by streaming alone, you will raise a big community out of thin air. Yeah, it takes time to make affiliate, and it takes time to make partner. How much time? I don't know. I haven't got there yet. Not good enough. But that's not all it takes. There is someone on my follow list on my Twitch that when I first went to their stream some 10 months ago, they were averaging just over 1 viewer on the stream. You know, that was their self-admitted average. But they had great graphics, they had great sound, they had a VTuber model, they had an intro screen, they had an ending screen, they had an intermission screen, you know, good quality artwork there. And they were pretty chatty. So it's like, what's going off here? So we got talking for a little bit, and I asked them if they had a Discord, and they said that they did, but it was pretty small, and they didn't really use it. They also said they didn't really advertise themselves outside of that Discord, as they weren't comfortable doing it. And they also didn't raid on principle, because one time they did, the very apparently ungrateful streamer that they raided made some comment about being raided by a low number of people. And, you know, from all of this, they were pretty determined that they were either just going to build up a community just by streaming, or that streaming wasn't for them. And also, one of the problems that they also had, and still have, is that they only stream every now and again. They only stream on odd days. They just pop up streaming, and that's it. I don't think they even announce it on their social media. Or if they do, they have a bot posting it, and that's it. So, like, I spoke to them a little bit and said, and tried to encourage them to come to and spam the Discord. You know, the Discord I'm on. Which Discord? Well, I'll put it in the chat in case you're not already on it. And then it'll appear there. Yes, sir. That was... Right, okay. I don't know if you heard that noise. There was a sort of... Oh, I can't do it again now. But the chair made a noise that sounded like a fart, and it wasn't me. They came to the Discord. They spammed a few times. They put some messages in. They weren't good messages. They didn't really sell themselves. But they did get some response and an increase in viewers for a short time. But they've long since stopped doing it. They've been live pretty regularly ever since. I've seen them pop up. And, you know, they were live a few days ago. And they're still only on 1 viewer average. And they're still not affiliate. So if you think advertising yourself on other people's Discords or in social media is cringe, it's going to take you a very long time, unless you've got a couple of very dedicated friends to cross that affiliate line. And even more so to cross the partner line. But hopefully, if you take all of the advice that's been given so far seriously and follow the advice already given, you'll be reaching affiliate in no time, if not already. Okay, what the hell? I think that guy may be wearing the VR headset slightly wrong. So, networking. Don't worry, we're in the last... Well, I'm not going to say. But we're getting into the last part of it now, so don't worry. There won't be too much more. Right, so, Twitch, or any other streaming service, has a very high creator, streamer, to viewer average. At the time of writing, on that Twitch tracker website that I mentioned earlier, like at the time where I wrote this, there were 1.1 million streamers on Twitch over the past 24 hours. And over that same amount of time, there were 3.3 million viewers. And a large proportion of those viewers are also streamers too. Are you connecting the dots here? If you want to grow faster, and of course you do, you also want to be attracting other streamers to your streams, because they're an easy source of viewers, especially if they like to play the same sort of games, and even if not, they might just like your personality. And, you know, the way that you do that is obvious. You do exactly what you would like them to do. You go to their streams and you sit and chat with them. Don't just go to someone's channel and after a few minutes, you know, some new person that you've never known before and after a few minutes declare yourself as a streamer. You know, that could come across as spammy. Imagine if someone did that to you, you'd be like, what is this joker all about? You know, just sit there and chat and make friends. And if the conversation does go that way, you know, feel free to mention that you are a streamer. But yeah, streamers do form part of your viewership. And support is a two-way street. And streamers, yeah, will support you if they receive support from you. It's a two-way street. And this is one reason why you should have some days where you're not streaming so that you can support other people. And then when you go live, hopefully some of those people will swing by. At the same time, I am cautious of advising you to go to one of those, you know, you've probably seen them some places around, those streamer support discords, like streamer support centered discords. They tend to end up where people are just posting links in the stream section and that's about it. You know, potentially in those you can gain a lot of traction and even get over the big step up to partner status. I've seen people do it. But just as other streamers can support you, you have to support them. So if a lot of streamers are supporting you to get over that affiliate line, then that's a lot of people you got to find time in your week to support. So while you do obviously want some people that are streamers stopping on by, you want to try and have a healthy balance, because otherwise you'll just end up like streaming maybe 1 day a week and then maybe giving 3 days a week to help other people. Now, if you're cool with that, that's fine. And that can work pretty well for you. But it also means a lot of your time is spent not streaming and just supporting. So be careful of that. And here's the thing. Here's one thing. That last point is very important, actually. Meaningful support is different things to different people. Now, if you've got someone who's a streamer and you raid their stream from time to time, and they're a partner level, so they have a chat that's buzzing with about 50 to 100 people, like, you have to work harder to be noticed by a streamer that is bigger than you in any given area than one that's less. So another reason why it's good to raid people that are actually not as big as you are, but are actually smaller, is for one, you create a nice contact with someone and you find someone new that plays the same game or that has the same sense of humor as you. But the same amount of support that isn't worth anything to a streamer that's far above you is worth an awful lot to someone that's lower down. And it's a great way to grow your circle of friends. And so because, you know, you go in and spending time chatting with someone that's maybe just got 1 or 2 viewers, that's an easy follow right there. But as well as that, the support that you give them, you don't have to give as much of your time to support them. It's a pretty business-like way of looking at it. But it is what it is. Like, when you think about it, I believe it makes sense. And yeah, people can get you over the affiliate line or the partner line even. They just come around and they just support you by lurking in the chat. And that's cool and all. But really, like I said earlier, ideally for me, I also want a lot of that view count to be people that are chatting. Like, maybe not 100% of it, but so that there's a bit of an atmosphere going off. And it's not just people tuning in, saying, hey, how are you? Lurking straight away and getting on with their day. Because they're not going to contribute much conversation. They'll contribute to your view count. But, yeah. It can be a bit of a weird thing when you go to someone that's got, like, 50 to 100 viewers, but yet the chat is almost dead. Like, no one's speaking. It's a bit strange. But there can be all kinds of reasons for that too. Oh yeah, I literally just mentioned this, to be honest. Oh my god, these hands. What is that? Well, oh no, I did the wrong thing. What are these hands all about? What is that? That looks like a foot. Why has this arm got 3 elbows? What is that? I don't even know. there's some weirdness in that artwork right there. So yeah, as we just mentioned, your support is more valuable to someone lower down the scale than you are, you know, and you don't have to support them very much for them to support you back. And that's just the way it is. But, you know, don't go about it in a whole, like, support others to get the support back. Make friends, not followers. So, personality. This is the quickest slide ever. Nothing really much to add here. We've already gone over the basics. And, you know, to get up to partner level, I think it's just a case of it'll just be a case of fine-tuning all the things that you've been learning about so far. Oh my god, what is this next slide? What is this next slide? Oh my god. Oh my god, what is this? Okay. Oh yeah, but you could spend some time like looking at other streamers. Are they doing something that's funny that makes you laugh? Have a little, like, analyze it. Analyze it as a streamer, what they're doing, how they're performing. And see if you can bring a little bit of that to your stream. It's hard to, like, fake your personality, but you could try just to, you know, see if it becomes a natural thing for you. All right, here we go. What the hell? Keep things fresh. Add new features as soon as you can think of them. Like, as soon as you hit affiliate, you want to be hit. Whenever you hit affiliate, you want to also already have an idea of the kinds of emotes that you want, the kinds of things that you want. Why is this guy holding what looks like an orange dildo or a massive orange thumb to his neck? Who knows? Nobody knows. But but he's keeping it fresh with his shower and his rainbow shower room. And interactive features, very, very good. As soon as you get affiliate, you want to start adding things like channel point redeems, little things like where people can affect your gameplay and change your gameplay or stream. And also a good thing to do is look for game-specific redeems as well. Like, do I have... Oh yeah, I do. That TV presenter seems off. It all seems off. It's generated by AI. Right, for instance, I play Holdfast. You probably, everyone here in the stream probably knows what Holdfast is, but it's like a massively multiplayer online Napoleonic warfare. And I have special redeems so that people can stop me firing bullets in it. Or it's class-based, so they can use a redeem to make me change my class, maybe from an officer class to a medic or something. You know, there's lots of things like that, so think about things. You can think about these things before you're even affiliate. You might not know how to implement them, but you can think of them and brainstorm some ideas. What's this? Oh, yeah. And yeah, also, like, you maybe, like we mentioned before, you maybe want a regular game that's sort of like your mainstay game that people know you're going to play same time every week. But you maybe have other games around that you just switch in and out. And that's good to have some switching in and out. So I think you probably, even if you consider yourself a variety streamer, you probably do want to have like some streams where you're just going to be playing different kinds of games. That calendar is also cursed, but I'm becoming numb to it now. And if you do make any changes to your stream and things that you do, give the changes time to set in. Don't just play one game one time and just be like, didn't work. No one came by. People need to get used to change. And another thing that's really good in terms of your content is plan special occasions. Like if you reach 100 followers or something, have a special event that unlocks a special thing, like a 20-hour stream or something. I still have to do my 16-hour stream. I need to work on that. I'll do that later. I'll do that later, actually. Yeah, and don't forget to make a big deal out of your streamer anniversary. Lord knows I did when it was my 1-year one. I dressed up as an anime cat girl with a dress and makeup and a wig and a fuck ton of booze. And it was fun. I nearly died, and people thought I had died at one point because I've passed out on stream, which is not meant to do on Twitch, by the way. But looking back, it was all a fun time. All a really fun time. And as well, if you do have any upcoming events, like a giveaway or something, you maybe want to spend at least a week or so talking about it in advance to drum up hype. Because every time you stream, not everyone that comes to your stream comes by, right? So they'll come by and this, that, and the other, but they'll come by every now and again. Like not every single person on your follow list will be coming to every one of your streams. That would be nice, but it's probably unlikely to happen. So you need to talk about the upcoming events for some time to get people used to the fact that they're going to happen. 1 or 2 weeks isn't enough. You know, 2 weeks is maybe just about enough, but the longer you talk about it, the more people are going to know about it, and the more people are going to come and take part, hopefully. That's the theory. Might not work like that. And if you do have a big event, let people vote on things that you know, what games you play, what you eat and drink, and even where. I think I only ended up being an anime cat girl by the time you get to doing a 16-hour stream, and will be a 24-hour stream, so may as well just go all the way. Maybe. Yeah, so you need to drum up some hype. That's a definite. That's always a good thing. And if you let people vote on things, you know, even it doesn't have to be what you wear, but you can do. It will make them feel invested. It will make them feel like they've had a choice in stuff, and it, you know, might just make things more interesting for them, so they're more likely to turn up. And yeah, when you do hit like 500 or 1,000 followers or whatever, celebrate it. Make it a big occasion. Right, so mentality. As we've said before, sometimes the numbers won't be going up. You know, you can go through a week or two, or maybe even longer, where everything seems flat, the numbers aren't great, and you're just wondering if you should give it up, if this is really for you. Like we said before, the thing separating a great content creator from the rest is how they handled these moments, not the moments where they were successful, you know, when things weren't so good. The top creators took a long time to get where they were. And, you know, just to build a big community, it takes time and effort. And remember that the bigger you get, the bigger your amount of followers is, the more of an amount of followers that are just going to, you know, that are just going to fall off over time is going to be. Like, some people's taste change and they'll maybe unfollow you. Maybe some people followed you just for a laugh. I don't know. But, you know, even if you have a small community of 150 to 500 followers and a, you know, a small bunch of regular viewers, just remind yourself that's a great thing you have there. It's pretty good. Like, if you have 3 or 4 or 5 viewers on your average, you're probably in the top 5% of Twitch. Like, because a lot of people out there are just like 1 to 2 viewers. So, you know, when things aren't good, remind yourself of all the things that you've done and all your little successes, and work on the things that aren't so good, but do keep working on things. Don't become one of these people that doesn't work on things. Because if things start to feel stale for you for too long... Oh, excuse me. Oh, I had a bogey up my nose. It's gone now. You know, if you stop developing or adding things for too long, it can feel like you're not capable of developing anymore, which can make things feel really stale. If you let it go on, you'll slowly fizzle out of enthusiasm for getting things back on track. And that can start to show in your audience. Anime Cat Girl era, good times. True. You know, if you start to get it fizzle out of enthusiasm, your audience is going to pick up on it. Maybe you sound flatter or less interested than you once did. And then it's something where, unless your audience is real firm friends, they may not come by as often. And then that helps your numbers go down, and then it all feels like it's going the wrong way. So, keep working on those things and building those relationships with other streamers and adding those new features and having special events for important occasions and growing your audience on multiple social medias. And remember, when the times are tough, remember each of the little improvements and victories you've made over things while you were streaming that you thought you'd never achieve. And that'll put you in the kind of can-do attitude that can break you out of the miasma of being stuck in a rut for too long. You know, if you look back, you know, if you're not yet streaming, this probably won't really apply. But, you know, some way down the line when things are becoming a bit stale, you probably never thought that you would get as far as you have done. But you have done whatever you've done so far. So be proud of that and celebrate it and make it a success. And don't be scared to cancel or take a day off if you're just feeling too flat. You know, or maybe you want to spend that time shaking up your schedule. That's fine. That's fine. People won't magically unfollow you because you missed one stream, or if they are that kind of person, they were probably going to unfollow anyway. You know, maybe in times like that, you could try a comfort game, something that you enjoy rather than something that you regularly play, and just have like a chill one and be like, you know what? I don't care what it's going to be like tonight. I'm playing this game. So that can be pretty good. There's been times where I've like felt low energy. I've almost thought, man, maybe I should not stream tonight. And then I go on and do it. And then, you know what? Sometimes I have a real good time. If you've got a game that can make you laugh, then that's a perfect time to play it. Yeah. But there's one last tip that I can give you in all of what we've talked about so far. And it is the most important one. And that is, have fun and enjoy the process. Don't think of the destination. Think of the journey. And it will be good. And that is finally at slide 107, the end of the presentation. Is there any questions? Whoa. I don't know how much more my voice can talk. Oh, wait a second. I've just remembered something. Is there... I was told... I was told that there was going to be... Oh. Wait, no. That's the wrong Discord. Let me just check something. Oh. Oh, there's a... This. Can I... Oh, wait. There is. Okay. Right, so... It's all right. If anyone has any questions or anyone watches this on the YouTube and has any questions, feel free to pop by a live stream. Thank you very much for watching. Now, I did say something when I was doing the marketing thing earlier and posting on the Discords that there was a new Holdfast update. Not an update, but like one of these blog things that they do where they talk about what's going off. And I did want to go through that on stream. But it's easier to upload this stream to YouTube in its entirety if there's nothing to cut out of it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to briefly stop the stream for a moment, and then I'll have a quick look at whatever's in that and see what's in there. It should be interesting. I don't know if it's very much about what's coming out, but there's usually a bit of a clue in there for stuff. So I'm going to end the stream, and then if you're interested in the whole fast stuff and the whole fast thing, we can wait around and we can experience it together. So I will stop the stream for a minute or two, and then I'll be back.